me, baby! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! It was fun.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, visitors, subscribers, and Cravenites. Welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Well, I am very excited for this night we are in right now. This day has been one of those days where somebody's been on my mind a lot. And this person's always on my mind because they've had quite an impact in my life in terms of their films and their storytelling. And it's just been an incredible thing. And, you know, August the 2nd is a day that will always be special for me. And I think all of you here share in that passion for Wes Craven, the man, the legend, the icon himself, with his birthday. So today, we're here to celebrate Wes's life and his career and our favorite memories and moments in his films, and just have an awesome time just hanging out with you guys and enjoying it, and just reliving all of these amazing moments that we have. And I'm thankful we have. I'm so thankful that we have 30, 40 years of films that we can look back on anytime we want to and always watch and remember and relive those moments. So it's all very exciting. And before we get into it, guys, I have some guests I'll be announcing, and definitely want to bring our guest on here. And let me just do that now, so that way they don't have to sit backstage and twiddle their thumbs. Let's bring them on board. So, guys, first up tonight, I want to welcome to the stream someone who's no stranger whatsoever. You guys know this individual. He's like a brother to me, and we are spending some incredible time together on the weekends. If you guys haven't been hanging out late on Sunday nights and Monday nights, sometimes Tuesday nights lately, you're missing out. And we'll talk more about that in a little while. But guys, welcome one of the members of the Lethal Collective with me, and just a great friend. You know him as Knight from the Night Watch Zone. What's up, Knight? Welcome.
What's going on? How's it going, man?
It's going awesome, bro. I'm so excited. This has been something I've been looking forward to. Been talking about it for a month and a half, couple months, about this happening, and it's here. And here we are. Here we are.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're gonna be celebrating the master. So
yes,
for me, it's so special, and I know for you, I mean, this is just a moment, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for the invite, and it should be fun, man. It's gonna be fun celebrating an icon.
Celebrating an icon. That's right, man. It's so exciting. So thank you, man. And we got a couple more folks coming into the chat now, or into the stream now. So please welcome a friend of the channel, moderator of the channel, a great friend, also just an amazing person, and just so giving and caring, kind of interesting. Never thought about that. Caring.
Oh, that's great.
So guys, before I get any more cheesy dad jokes, please welcome Carrie Crave Cinema. What's up, Carrie?
Hello. Apparently, I'm the caretaker.
The caretaker. Of course, I should have introduced you properly. That's caretaker. Right. Yes, that's right.
The caretaker.
Oh my gosh. And it's Tavares Greer just made a point, and I just saw this. It just caught my eye, and I just realized that this year, and I do see some super chats coming in, guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to get to everyone's super chats. You're already bringing them in. What a way to start this night. But real quick, Tavares says it's been 50 years since he made his debut. And that's right, guys. You realize Last House was 1972. And it literally has been 50 years ago his
Wow.
first film came out. That's just nuts.
It
Um,
is.
and guys, real quick, we got another guest here that's going to be is ready to join us now, knocking on the door. Please welcome, and I lovingly call her my OG subscriber because this individual I met, and I think Carrie as well. Carrie and this individual I met on my other channel, the Movie Bros React. Well, Night for that matter too. Actually,
Yep.
you're OG as well, my friend.
Hey.
And I mean, wow, I just thought of that. Yeah. So all three of these individuals right now, I'm about to have on, all go back with me a long way before this channel existed. And so please welcome her. She's a moderator. She's always so faithfully on the streams and just a great, great person. It's Jen Werner. Thanks for coming, Jenical. Can you hear me, Jenical?
I hear you.
Okay. Okay.
I hear everything twice though.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what technology. I know it can be a little bit annoying, but hopefully it won't be too after. Hopefully it won't be too distracting for you. I hope. Fingers crossed. And we got another guest that will be joining us in a little while. Jack Stannis will be joining us in the next 10, 15 minutes. Now, real quick, guys, let's get to some very important things. We got some super chats that have come in. I want to get to you guys because, again, I always promise you we'll do our very best. But tonight's going to be one of those nights where we have a lot of topics, a lot of things we're going to be talking about. It's a big panel. So it's going to be very hard to get to anyone who's not probably a super chat tonight, just to be honest, because of that. But we'll do our best. But if you have a question and you want to chime in on some of your favorite Wes Craven moments once we get started, please do put it in the chat. And if you have a super chat to send us, let us know. And we'll kind of go over, we could talk about that on the panel. That'd be a lot of fun too. And let's do that. So one thing happened here, guys, before we went live, and I want to acknowledge this first. If I can go back and way back up here on the, here we go. Guys, I'm excited to share. We have a new channel member, Brandon the Beldam joined. Welcome, Brandon, to the family. You are now a Cravenite. Yeah. So I love this when it happens on live streams. And if you're here tonight and you're not a channel member and your name is not green and has a skull by it, that means you're not yet a channel member, and you can be. All you got to do is hit the join button. It's right next to subscribe, and you will become a channel member. You'll have some cool perks, members only things, and you will become part of the inner circle. So Brandon, I'm excited to do this special greeting. Only I get to do it for new members only. So here we go. Brandon, welcome to the cult of Craven. You are now no longer only a subscriber. No, that's not good enough for you. You have stepped in to the inner circle of the cult of Craven. You are now a part of the inner family of this channel, and we welcome you. So Cravenites all abound on the chat, and welcome Brandon to the family. Virtual hugs all around. Thank you, Brandon. Yes. Appreciate you for your support. Welcome. And I'm very excited to have you part of the family and see you on our exclusive watch parties. We're going to have a good time. And quickly, I want to get to some super chats that have come in, and we're going to get started. And I see a lot of people here. Amazing, guys. We got over 50 people here already. This is a great night. Love this already. And oh, by the way, guys, please hit the smash the thumbs up button. You know why? Because the more that button goes up, the more this stream's going to be pushed out in the algorithm. So literally, if you would take 2 seconds to smash it, we'll get more and more people joining the stream tonight.
Yes. Smash it.
Smash it, slice it, dice
Smash
it.
and slash.
That's right.
Do it.
Do it. And speaking
Do
of
it now.
do it now. Do it now.
Go.
Harder.
Smash the button.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, not the Java. Don't have time to bleed. All right. So speaking of new people in the discussion, look who's here. Jack Stan is coming in to finish out the panel tonight. What's up, man?
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Mwah to you too, my friend.
Jack.
Hi, Jen.
Yeah.
Hi, Carrie. Hi, Knight. Hi, Steven,
Hey,
Craven,
Jeff.
whatever you want to go by.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Oh man, this is so great. We're all here, guys. Everybody's here. This is the lineup for tonight for this very special Wes Craven birthday. And real quick, we got some super chats to get to. First of all, we got Lee the Nerd coming in. What's up, Lee? Thank you so much for your generous super chat right there to start us off. For Wes, may this month be filled with Wes Craven movies, a true legend. Absolutely, Lee. And I'll tell you something, I'm doing a daunting thing this month. I'm going to have 5 Wes Craven watch party films this month. So, yeah, buckle up, buttercups, because we're about to jump on that Wes Craven roller coaster, and we're going to roll. We're going to be watching My Soul to Take, his very final film. We're going to be watching Cursed, Shocker, Red Eye, and the
Deadly
last
Friend.
one, Deadly Friend. Thank you. I always what is that last one again? Deadly Friend. So it's going to be public watch parties, guys, so everyone can attend. And if you have not seen any of those Wes Craven movies, make sure you make time to come. I'm going to be setting them up this week, and to start next week throughout the rest of the month. So keep an eye out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified when I launch those streams, so you'll get notifications. Okay, very good. Now, we got some super chats coming in. You guys are sharing the love tonight, and what a way to start the month here, right? Thank you, Lee, so much. I appreciate you, my OG channel member. Lee's the very first channel member. Always will be the first. And I think what we'll do, because of the sake of time, let's go through the super chats, and we'll play a couple of clips at the end for everybody, just because we have so much jam-packed tonight for you guys. Can't wait. And Brandon in the building, right there, our newest channel member, just celebrated Brandon joining the channel with the $2 super chat. Thank you. For Wes, thanks for the memories. Yes.
Yes,
So
indeed.
good. And look who else we've got tonight. Donna coming in with a $5 super chat. Hey, Donna. For Wes, thanks for all you gave us. Oh, it's so true. I'm going to tell you something, man. There's one particular clip later on I'm going to show that, man, I was putting it together at 4:30 in the morning, trying to get stuff done for tonight. And I was sitting here, and as exhausted as I was, although I came off of an amazing night with Night.
Oh,
And-
that's right. You guys did the watch party.
Yes, and Katie,
man.
it was an epic night, and
Nice.
I was riding a high. Night was riding a high.
Yes.
I mean, we were just we stayed on and chatted for 3 hours or something after that movie
Yes.
ended. It was
Yes.
night. And but anyway, when we got done talking, I immediately went to editing a clip for we're going to show you. I'm going to show you in a bit. And man, when that clip ended, because I added music to it, when you start adding music and stuff, it just adds the whole other dimension.
You want to
guys
keep
know.
going. You want to keep going. Let's add some
Yes.
more, right?
Yeah, it's let me
Oh,
add.
yeah. It
But
gives
that
you a
thing-
feeling, all right.
It does.
Yes.
And when I got done, I was like, dang, I'm sad. I kind of just dang it, man.
Yep. I know what
You
you,
know?
mean, man. I know what you
Ah.
mean. Even thinking about doing this tonight, I could feel the emotion inside because I started to think about all these moments that I'll talk about and that I know will be talked about by you guys, and just thinking about how Wes Craven has affected my journey, as a fan of movies, not just horror, but of movies. And yeah, it's emotional. It's emotional.
It is emotional, man. And
It really is. I'm already tearing up.
I listen. There will probably be tears shed tonight on the stream, and probably for some of you out there watching, I would suspect. Let me see here, Jen. Let me see if Jen. Jen, can you hear us? Are you there?
I hear you.
Okay, good. I brought you back in the stream, so to make sure I saw you there. Everything was cool.
I can't get my background back.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Well, that's okay.
But
that's
I'm
all right.
hearing you twice.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that's echoing, but if you can, if it's too much, I understand. If it becomes too much of an issue and you need to bounce off, I completely understand. I know how that can be really annoying when you have that bounce back thing going on. But if you can push through it, we'd love to have you stay if you can. But I'll leave that up to you as we keep going. All right, so Donna, thank you so much. Now, and look here, Katie from Popping the Popcorn, who was just on that talking about her last night on the stream. We were talking about that on the watch party.
Yeah.
Thank you, Katie. Such an amazing panel. Happy Wes Craven. Love you all. Thank you, Katie. Same to you.
Much love, Katie.
Yes, Katie, you're all right.
Yes, much love, much
All right.
appreciation. And we'll do a quick super chat clip, and then we're going to get right into it, guys. So how about we do, you know what? The Bobos just seem to continue to be requested and admired. So I think we're going to have to go with Bobo number 4. Here we go.
I'll make your bubs bounce. I'll make your bubs bounce. Let's go.
You still haven't gotten the ending of that for me?
You know, oh my gosh, I owe you that, don't I? I told you I was
You
going to
do.
yeah, it's right. Man, you know what? I need to make a note for that.
Gotta know how it ends, huh?
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay, guys. Well, listen. I think we're caught up on Super Chat. So once again, guys, thank you for all of you who already have got us started. And for all of you in the chat now, be sure if you do have your favorite moments of Wes Craven, we want to see them. And if you want to make sure that we have a chance to talk about them, send it in a Super Chat. I got Val, the general's helping me stay on top of that, keeping me notified so we don't miss anything. All right? So, guys, I thought we would just start, before we start, how about maybe we start with the man himself? All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stream in a video form the amazing Wes Craven.
What I think is you're dealing with fear. Basically, you're dealing with fear, and you have to get through to those fears. And in that way, you have to know what people are really afraid of these days, as opposed to even 10 years ago, you know. And then you have to cross the line so that you can elucidate those fears in a way, put them into a film in a way that goes beyond necessarily good taste or what is proper in the society to speak about, or what the MPAA feels comfortable allowing you to do. You have to go into those sort of forbidden areas. And so you're probably off the box, you're going to be making a film that's upsetting to adults and to the establishment. So people often ask me, you know, why do people want to go and be scared? And my answer is that people don't want to go and be scared. They are scared. That we have resident fears, you know, from real things. I mean, let's not forget real life, you know. So the reason I think this works for kids is that those fears are evoked in these movies and brought out in the course of the story in a way that it has some resolution at the end.
Man, the man himself right there, folks. Ooh,
Knight,
boy.
you have your match between you and Wes for the most peaceful voice ever.
I could listen to Wes all
Dude,
night
right?
long, man.
I could
That
just
was-
I watch
Soft-spoken
interviews and you
smooth.
oh my goodness, it's beautiful.
yeah,
Oh,
that was awesome. That was awesome.
thank you, guys. I was thankful to find some clips that I could really felt spoke to me when I heard them, and
Yeah.
I'm glad they spoke to you guys too. I really am. Wow. Okay, guys. I love how he talks about how, you know, I'm not. You know, people don't want to be feared. They have fear. They already have it. Like, I'm not creating anything. I'm releasing it, basically. And I've always loved that philosophy that he's had. Excuse me. He's had. So, you know, I want us to kind of talk about that, and kind of delve into his career a little bit, and let's start talking about some moments that we feel are our favorites. You know, we're not going to rank anything tonight. We're not going to have any, kind of like 1 through 10. Tonight is more about just celebrating. Um, hang on 1 second. 1 second here. Give me a sec. Celebrating his life, his career. And so tonight, before we get started, just tell me overall about, without getting into specific films yet, what are your thoughts just on Wes and how he affected you as a filmmaker, generally speaking?
Well, Wes Craven is one of my favorite directors, easily. Um, and as a kid, growing growing up in the '80s, you couldn't escape Wes. Even if you wanted to, which I didn't. Because I was on a wonderful horror journey. And the thing about what Wes does, especially in that clip, and that was a perfect clip to play, man, because that's Wes, right? He's talking. He's so cerebral, and I love that about how he would, use that in his craft. But as a child growing up and watching his movies and so many moments, and as I got older and obviously things like the Scream franchise, it just really made a mark. Some of my favorite movies are his movies. And we've talked about this before on streams. Wes has changed horror, the face of horror, in my opinion, 3 different times, 3 different types of horror movies. When you talk
Yep.
about um, Last House on the Left, you talk about Nightmare, you talk about Scream. And I think it's just a credit to how he was able to evolve over his career, which I think
Hmm.
is very difficult for any artist in anything. I mean, it could be music or sports or art or your job or whatever. It's hard to change. I don't think people are comfortable with
Yeah.
change. And fortunately for us, Wes was very comfortable with change. So, I could rant on and I won't, but,
No, yeah.
Wes is amazing. And, when we lost him, it was some tears that day. It was a
Oh
lot of
man,
tears
a lot
for
of
me for
tears.
me you know and
Yeah.
like I said, he's just amazing. He really is.
Yeah. I agree. Carrie, just overall talking about Wes Craven. I mean, do you remember like that moment when you found out the news? Like, like sometimes we remember dates and places, and what was your feeling when you heard the news? I mean, obviously sad, but I mean, how did you feel when you got the news
It
that he had
was
passed?
it was weird for me because something told me, like, it was literally in the middle of the night. Like, I remember, I think it was like 3 a.m. For some reason, I was looking at my phone, and I don't know why, because I usually don't do that in the middle of the night. But I looked at it, and I saw the news, and I didn't want to believe it at first, and I just started bawling right then and there. I I was in shock because I
Yeah.
didn't want to believe that he was gone, because he
Hmm.
really did have a huge impact. Like, in high school for my senior project, I did my project on him
That's
because
so cool.
because he was so impactful for me. He's one
Hmm.
of the reasons why I love the horror genre, because he
Hmm.
pushed the envelope. He wasn't afraid to push boundaries. He wasn't afraid to show us the reality, because we as humans, we're afraid to see reality, even if it's cruel, if it's unusual. He was not afraid to push that envelope, to unveil those layers of the onion and show us, those layers. He was
Hmm.
not afraid because he wanted
Yeah.
us to see it. And that's why a lot of people didn't really respond well to Last House on the Left, because it was the cruelty of the world. It happens to people every day. But
Hmm.
we don't want to face that. But he was willing to show us that.
Yeah. That's true. Very, very true.
He
And
didn't sugarcoat it. And that's what I loved about
no,
him.
yeah. And yet he did it but yet he was able to do all of that in a very
With
classy,
grace. Yes.
graceful way. And
Hmm.
it wasn't ever voyeur. It was never like gross. Now, Last House on the Left made you feel gross, but even in how he did it, though, I can only imagine like when they stopped filming, how he was probably like, "Are you okay? Everything all right?" I'm sure that's how he. I mean, I wasn't there, obviously, but I could just imagine some of those scenes were tough. But in all of his films, he was never grotesque. That's what I'm trying to say. It was always done in a way that you understood.
Distasteful. It was never distasteful.
Yes, distasteful. That's a good way to say it. Agreed. Jack, man, tell me about Wes Craven's effect on you, man. And then we'll talk to Jen, and we're going to start getting into actual movie moments. But overall,
so
you, Jack.
Wes has been such a big part of my own personal journey as a filmmaker and a writer, and just watching his films when I was younger, and a bunch of other directors. But Wes was quite prominent in my own journey, and it really made me want to jump into writing my own stuff and jump into film school. And I remember telling the story on one of your streams about how my mother and I, we've always bonded over scary movies. And when I was younger, about like 9, 10, I was so scared to even go out trick-or-treating because I would be so scared to run into somebody dressed up as Freddy Krueger. Like, I was so scared. And my mom used to do this impersonation of the "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy." She used to like just get into that zone. And she was like, "Come on, let's watch the movie." And I'd refused to for years, but I always had this sort of fascination with it. And I would be like, "Mom, can you say the line? Can you say the line?" And one day we had kind of broke the horror seal for me, and we watched Friday the 13th. And after that, I was like, okay, there's this Nightmare on Elm Street movie that I've heard about. I'm so freaking scared to watch it, but if I can get through Friday the 13th, maybe I can get through a Nightmare on Elm Street. And we watched it, and I got through it. And from there, I remember Target had like this DVD box set of like the first 4 and then the next 4 movies. So she bought like the first 4 movies, and we popped in that first one. And after that, I remember just like going upstairs in my room and popping in the next one. Obviously Wes didn't do much for any of the sequels after, but still just that intrigue and that punch the first movie left me was so profound. And then I journeyed off and began to discover more of his works, like Scream. And eventually I started making my own little fan films when I was in middle school and high school. And it was about 5 days after I wrapped shooting the third one, which was the last one, Wes Craven died. And I just remember like this sinking feeling coming over me. And I called up my good friend Mike, who was helping me to kind of construct these fan films. And I was like, look what just happened. And we were having like the premiere for Friends, just like neighborhood premiere of the movie. And I remember going back into Windows Movie Maker, which I edited the movies on, and I typed in like a for Wes Craven right in the beginning of the movie. So,
oh man, that's
just
cool.
Like
that's nice.
Yeah, I'll never forget hearing that. And I remember just celebrating his life and like marathoning all his movies for like the whole week after his passing. And still to this day, even my short 2-year journey through film school, and even now as a documentary filmmaker, like he was still such an integral part of me even wanting to pick up a camera in the first place. So just such a prominent man, and watching his interviews and watching him talk highly about his cast members and just watching his mind play out is such a beautifully fascinating thing to me. There are certain directors of certain movies where like I really don't even care to watch the behind the scenes. Like I appreciate what they did, but I don't have that same connection. And with Wes, like we spoke about, and like you just briefly mentioned, Stephen, like I never had to. You guys know I'm very sensitive to like super gory things, and I never had to like breeze through the parents' guide on IMDb when I watched his movies, because I knew they were going to be like they had that level of class. And
That's true.
and I know it's gonna sound weird, but like even in his movies, there was still like a level of hope for the survivor, you know. And there are some movies where like you really don't care who lives, who dies, and Wes set up such
Stream
great
5.
characters. Yeah.
All right, to clear my
Wes,
throat.
you know, and Kevin had a big part to do in those Scream movies, but Wes, I mean, he knew how
brought
to
it to life.
direct. Yeah, he knew how to direct a final girl. He knew how to direct supporting characters, and he made you feel like these were real people. Even as something as surreal as Nightmare on Elm Street, you felt like these were real people in a real situation, and that's what made it all the more terrifying. And then when the payoff came and the ending came, you were like, okay, you feel like you lived through this with the characters. And he had this way of pulling you in. So no matter where my journey in life takes me, whether I go back to making film or I pursue the documentaries for the rest of my life, I'll always have that little part of his inspiration with me. So that's my story.
Yeah, it's great. And before we get to Jen, Jason Dyer is coming in with a $5 super chat. Jason, what's going on, man? So happy to see you here, and glad you could make this very special stream tonight. Says, congratulations, Craven, on 6K. You know, I just realized something. This is the first live stream that I've had since I hit 6,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Because I hit it on Saturday night over on the Night Watch Zone. I was live with Night, which was an amazing thing. And this is the very first stream. So let me just say, stop for a minute. And so, I mean, so like brain's been on this Craven stuff so much. Thank you guys for your support. Yeah, 6,000 blew my mind. It's still blowing my mind. I'm just humbled and grateful. And thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel and being a part of this family and this community. I'm so grateful to all of you, and I don't take any of you for granted whatsoever, and I hope you know that. So thank you guys. And thank you, Jason, for that. I appreciate it, man. I still can't believe when I pull my channel up and I see the 6. I'm like, wow, really? What, 600? No, oh my gosh. But anyway, it says, it goes on to say, thank you, Wes Craven, for giving me beautiful nightmares. A ditto. Love this panel. Love this live stream. Awesome, Jason. Thank you, man.
Jason
Much
is
appreciated.
great.
Jason is so good.
Jason's amazing.
Yep. It's always, every time I see Jason pop in, it just kind of makes me smile.
Yes,
kinda,
that's
you know
exactly
what I mean?
what I was thinking.
He's a
Yes.
beacon of light.
Yes.
Yes, it just lifts
Seriously.
your spirits because he's like, oh, Jason's here. It's and pretty soon he's either sending a super chat to lift the day up, or he'll send just a comment in the chat that's like well witty. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's always something. So, thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're on the journey, right? We're on that journey, guys. We're on that journey together. All right, Jen, we're going to try and see if maybe some of that echo is taken care of here. Let me unmute your mic now. Let's see. Can you hear me, Jen?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Much better. Yes, that's
You
much
know
better.
what?
Thank you.
Because I closed YouTube.
Ah, that's what it was. That explains it.
So
Okay.
Mav was right.
It was
Mav
the
said
other.
that it was playing the double feedback because of
It was.
the YouTube being up.
Now it's perfect. You sound great. You sound great,
Ah,
Jen. Yeah.
Excellent. Good.
So
My
Jen,
head's
go ahead.
popping around though.
Oh yeah, I know you're kind of floating, but that's okay. Jen is there, guys. I promise it's not a pre-recording. She is there. Her head's just floating in and out. But that's kind of, it's kind of fitting though. We're talking about Wes Craven and horror movies. I mean, sometimes Night disappears into that face behind him, and it always freaks me out every time. Yeah, it's just like, where'd he go? He's been engulfed by the face. Okay,
She
so
ate
Jenical,
you.
right? So Jenical, before we get into specifics, you're going to round us out here, and then I'll make some comments about my perspective too. How has Wes influenced your life? Like how has his movies made a difference for you?
Well, I had seen several horror movies like in the 70s, and I liked them, but it wasn't until I saw my first Wes Craven movie that actually became a horror buff. So he's the one who got me started,
Nice.
and I've been into all of his. I'm following his things, and it upset me so much when I heard he died. First of all, because
Yeah.
of loss of such an amazing genius, but one thing that I always wanted and will now never happen is I was hoping that he and Joss Whedon could collaborate on something because that would
Hmm.
be amazing. But
Yeah,
oh well,
I
and
know.
I was saying today that he's been gone for 7 years, but today I feel it more than ever.
Hmm.
Mm,
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
yep.
and it makes you think too. Like as we see some of these horror movies that just have missed the mark, and
Yep.
you just wonder, like, man, it's
Yep.
so sad Wes
What
isn't
if Wes
here.
did this? What if
That's
Wes
right.
did this? Right,
Yep.
dude.
Yep.
Seriously,
You took the words right out of my mouth, man.
It's true.
Absolutely.
It's
it
true.
is, and you
He
know,
he had a certain way. You said it earlier, Stephen. He had a certain way that his characters just seemed tangible. You know what I mean? Like you could relate to his characters,
Real.
and yeah, they seemed so
hmm
real.
yeah,
And I think it's so much of how he treated his craft, how he directed, how he connected with the actors and the actresses. I've
hmm
heard Heather in interviews say that. I've heard Nev in interviews and say that. David, all these actors talk about how kind and approachable and humble that Wes was. And I think that that creates such a great atmosphere on the set, which translates into the movie, and
yes,
even as a little kid, I remember I don't even know, maybe I was 7 or 8, and I'm watching A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I connected with Nancy, and
yeah,
obviously Heather
Mhm.
wasn't like a very experienced actress at the time, but
hmm
under Wes's tutelage, she knocked out a home run in that performance, so
Mhm.
yeah.
so true. Genevieve says, "Hi, Craven. I'm late to the stream, but wow, I didn't know it was Wes's birthday. Not until I saw the notification. Well, I'm glad you're here, Genevieve. We're really just kind of getting warmed up here for where we're heading tonight. So you came in at a great time. It's all good. And and you know what? Speaking of Jason Dyer, man, look at Jason bringing a $10 super chat. Thank you, my man. Such a supporter. All right, who's gonna sing with me? One, two. Craving something scary stories
Coming
coming
for
for you.
you.
Three,
3,
four.
4.
Better
Better
shop
shop
Yeah,
some
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 more.
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 Five,
5,
5, 6,
six.
6.
Get your
Get
get
your
your
t-shirt top
t-shirt
t-shirt top
fixed.
topics.
6,
Seven,
7,
7,
eight.
8.
You
8.
can
You can
You can
shop
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 real
real
late.
real
late.
night.
Nine,
9,
9,
10.
10.
Never dress
never
Dress
dress
fat
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 again.
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 Yeah, Jason. I tell you what, man. Oh, General Val, if you could if you wouldn't mind putting the link to my merchandise store, if you could, in the chat, I would appreciate it when you get a chance. I know you're busy. Jason, thank you, man. That is awesome, and I hope you enjoyed all of our chaotic, out of rhythm singing because we all have delays. So it's
Hmm.
lovely that it's like chaotic nightmare, and it's fitting.
Hmm.
It's
That was
perfect.
like when we would sing the Happy Halloween song.
Oh
It's
my
like,
gosh.
yeah.
Oh my
Ugh.
Yeah,
gosh, bro.
that's always an adventure.
It
Yeah.
is always an adventure. And listen, I got to tell you guys, sneak peek, real early sneak peek. My 1 year channel anniversary is September 4th. My first video went up September 4th. So, guys, on
Wow.
Saturday, the 3rd of September at 9:30 p.m., I'm going to have a massive party, 1 year celebration stream. I'm going to have 20 or 30 people on the panel. throughout the course of 6 hours. It's going to run late. You better rest up, sleep, take naps, because that night is going to be the 1-year blowout celebration.
Nice.
So,
Boy.
anyway, stay tuned on that. But I had to give you a little sneak peek. Jason, again, my man, thank you. As always, I love that. And maybe we'll sing that again later. Just because I like us all to sing together every time we get a chance. And thank you, Val. There you go. General is all over it. There's the link, guys. Go check it out. Lots of Craven merchandise. And Jennicol's even wearing some merch right now. She's got the Stew Train, official Stew Train shirt. Look at that. Right there.
Woohoo.
Looking good. Looking good, Jennical.
Get it
Love
up.
Stew, stew.
Stew.
Yes. Stew Train, baby.
Oh, yeah, man.
Don't
And
start,
we
Jack.
haven't heard
I'm
that.
gonna ask you to sing it.
Haven't heard that song in a long time.
You know,
Yeah.
Jack, it's been a while, buddy.
I
It's
said-
been a little
yeah.
bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
This might be the night on Wes's birthday
Oh,
that
yeah.
we break out that acoustic guitar at some point tonight. Just
Okay.
thinking. Just saying.
All right. Sounds good.
I'll tell you what, guys. Before we dive in, let's watch another clip here to get some more perspective on the man, the legend himself. Here we go.
What was it like to be directed by Wes Craven?
He's has such a psychological bent to him, and so he was always sort of probing deeper and looking for the motives behind things and asking more of you, and but at the same time it was done with such a gentleness, and he really respected his actors and admired them.
For me, Wes was he was a kind of a gentleman. He was a double threat, Larry. He was a writer and a director. So if we had trouble with a scene, he could fix the writing as well as restaging it. But he left me alone. I worked.
Really?
Yeah, I did a television series with Wes. I did 3 movies with Wes, and he left me alone, which I liked. I liked that respect.
Think about it, he makes these wild movies, right? You know, very scary. But off camera, he's a very relaxed person, well-read. We got
Whereas you're doing this grotesque scene and blood and he'd be just...
very calm, very peaceful, and he feels like he's very confident in his ability. So he feels that he gets it, he got it, he can move on. And I'll never forget this. I'm like, we're making a horror movie. Like, shouldn't it be crazier? And he's like, just because we're making a horror movie doesn't mean it has to be horrific.
Dang, man, that one got me, man. I'm
Yeah,
like,
man.
I love
Wow.
that last line that Jamie Kennedy says.
Yes.
I
Just
know.
because we're making a horror film, it does not mean it has to be horrific.
I know.
I love that.
I was thinking that
Gosh.
too. Yep.
Beautiful.
Definitely a Wes Craven thing to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Okay. So it's time, guys. Let's hold on. Jason, bring it in with a $2 super chat. We need some Jack guitar for Wes. There you go, man. I think, yeah, I agree.
You
We
tell
gotta
me when
make
the
that
time's
happen.
right. You tell me when the time's right.
All right, man. I tell you what, Jason, it's gonna happen, man. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna talk about some movie moments here, and then after a little while, we'll see if Jack feels up to it, and we'll start some live tribute to Wes here on this guitar. It's awesome. Thank you, Jason. And I'll put it in my start up here so to make sure we don't forget. Oh, and real quick before we do that, Brock Willis, what's up, Brock? Coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Wes, such a heart, such a talent, forever loved, forever missed. Saying hi to everyone. Jack Stannis has the best laugh on YouTube. Love you all. Absolutely.
Aw.
There's something about heartfelt laughter, man, when it's genuine.
Mm-hmm.
No, seriously, it's just
Warm and
it's-
joyous.
it is. It fills your heart, man. Thank you, Brock, for your support and your super chat, man. Appreciate you very much. Okay, so Let's start up. We'll start with Knight, and then we'll kind of go around the panel again. Knight, tell me what are some. Again, we're not ranking anything. We're just gonna have fun. Tell me about a movie that comes to mind when you think of Wes and some memories. What movie comes to mind? What's one?
Well, and before I say it, because of course you asked for our choices, and
Yes.
man, I was just thinking of so many things, and I was like, man, I got to whittle this down because I knew we'd have an amazing panel of other people with us as well. But I think I'm gonna start with Scream 4,
Okay.
and Scream 4 for me was so enjoyable, and it was so awesome to see, just what Wes was gonna do, especially after 3. And to me, in Scream
Hmm.
4, one of the moments that I enjoyed so much, there were a lot, but the one that comes to my mind is Jill's reveal at the end.
Oh yeah.
And look, man, and we've talked about this a few times, Stephen, but when the mask came off, oh my goodness, my jaw dropped when I saw that it was Jill. And I was like, no, you know,
Yes.
because I spent time in this movie getting to connect with her. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, she was reconnecting and getting a stronger connection with Sydney. So when you saw that it was her and you feel that betrayal and everything, and I was just like, oh man, but it was wonderfully executed. Emma Roberts and obviously Nev, it was directed well, and it was a lot of tension. And of course, when you saw Jill going off, and you could see the look on Sydney's face, just kind of like, what's going on, man? So
Yes.
I just love that scene so much. And to me, it was almost as jaw dropping as the original.
Hmm.
Sometimes I
Yep.
flip flop back and forth,
Hmm.
because again, I really loved Jill as a character, so it really broke my heart. Wes broke my heart with that scene, um,
Oh
but
no.
that's what he does. He's the conductor. So, anyways, that's mine. Scream 4. Jill's reveal.
Oh, it's a huge one. And while we're talking about that, I'm going because honestly, what's funny is like my favorite moments you basically are shared amongst all of the four of you, and
Hmm.
so I'm like I'm going to be able to piggyback tonight mostly because that is one of my most favorite moments in all of the Screen franchise, and easily. And again, I'm with you, Knight. Just kind of echo. It was for me. I never saw it coming. I was one of
Mm.
those where I'm watching this movie. I'm like, who the heck is? It's
Gut
Charlie.
punch.
Yeah. And then whenever they come out of that closet by the front door, and
Hmm.
then she stabs Nev
Yep.
and pulls it off. I'm like, oh shoot.
Mm.
So I second that, man. That whole reveal scene there was incredible, and it was a shocker
Yes.
because shocker, no pun intended. But it really was because we were just convinced and believing that she was the final girl. She's the
Yes.
new Sydney that's going to be going
Yes.
forward.
Yes.
It was wild. So I love
Hmm.
that. Love that. Okay, Carrie, what's a movie that comes to mind for you that's a favorite?
Well, I mean, you have to talk about Scream 96 because,
Ah, yes.
I mean, it is the movie that kind of revived the horror genre.
Mm-hmm.
I
That's
mean,
right.
I remember when I was younger, I would always go through my aunt and uncle's movie collection, and they always had like a fantastic horror movie collection, and I always saw Scream. And I was afraid to
Mm-hmm.
watch it at first because for some reason the cover kind of creeped me out. So I would always overlook it, and then I tried to watch it once. The Drew Barrymore scene, I couldn't get past it for the longest time. But
Oh yeah.
finally, oh yeah, when I went to my cousin's, I finally, of course, when I had the flu and I didn't feel like moving, that's when I decided to watch it all the way through. But then it was like, what have I been doing? Like, why did I wait so long to watch this? And I
Yeah.
fell in love with it. I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
stop watching it. I absolutely fell in love with it.
Yeah. And was there a particular scenes in the movie that you really love? I know there's a lot of moments. You talked about
Oh
the
yeah.
Casey Becker, but anything else that you want to mention that really like just was a favorite for the movie?
Yes. I got to talk about that third act when
Oh,
Billy and Stu are talking to Sid in the kitchen. When
oh yes.
Billy tells Sid his motive, and for some reason it just yes, it gutted me because just seeing like the look on Billy's face when at first he tells everyone, "Oh, motives are, incidental. They're," but then he actually tells her the real motive about
Yes.
his mother leaving and abandoning him, and then the look on Sid's face and then the look on Stu's face. I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, wow. Like, I don't
Man.
know why, but Stu's face is always the one that really like stood out to me.
Mm-hmm.
He seems shocked and
Yes, like
stunned
he
by
didn't
it.
even know.
That's right. It was a shock to him. And look, Knight and I always have this thing about the eyes. Look at those
Yes.
eyes on Billy. Look at that.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
Yep.
Psycho. I mean, just
Anthony Perkins.
Mm-hmm.
psycho. That's
Yes,
right.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
We all go a little
another
mad sometimes.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
gosh. What a scene. That
Yes.
whole kitchen scene. And I figure while we're there now, let's just park there for a minute because I know all of us on this panel are Scream fans as well as other West movies. That scene is legendary, iconic. It is whatever adjective you want to put it up. It is one of the best endings I've ever seen to any horror
Yeah.
movie ever made. Period.
Absolutely.
You unpack it and it's just like amazingness after amazingness after amazingness. Like
Mm-hmm.
just
Yes.
Sydney going into the cop car and she's trying to, keep
Oh.
the locks down, but Ghostface is playing with her. I mean,
Yep.
there's so many good scenes in that
Yeah.
Cat
third
and
act.
mouse.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, the keys. That's right,
The
Jack.
keys. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, the keys.
And he
That
taps the
had
window.
to
Yeah.
be Stu. Because Stu has that playfulness.
Yes,
Yes.
totally.
Yes.
Totally. I 100% agree. Yeah, it was just, man, I tell you, scene 118. I mean,
Yep.
and it's so iconic.
Iconic.
They had T-shirts made up for the crew and
I
cast.
survived.
Yep.
118. I
It's
know.
crazy. It's
I
crazy.
know.
And what a way to end a movie. I mean, they kicked off the movie with just a legendary scene. The movie is amazing, great performances, and then you hit a grand slam to end it. It's like,
So true. My gosh. The whole third act. I mean, you nailed it, Katie. I mean, Carrie, the whole third act. It's all there. Everything, the suspense, the whodunit, mystery, everything, and just incredible.
Yeah.
Real quick before we get to Jack and Jenical, I got the J's on the bottom. Right, Jack and Jenical
That's
up to the pinnacle to fetch some, I don't know, whatever. Fetch some Wes Craven Blu-rays. I don't know, maybe.
To
Okay.
Renicle, some Wes Craven movies.
Yeah. There you go. That's awesome. I was trying to look at our names here because I've got Craven. Carrie's got Crave. Knights. Well, Jason,
Nate's on his own.
Jason, I need you, man. I need the wordsmith. Get us some clues here. See what you can come up with, my friend. Real quick, a couple super chats we come in. Lee the Nerd with another super chat, $2 super chat. Thank you. How about movie moments? Nothing beats Scream's opening. Oh my gosh, I can't argue with that. I can't. It would be an argument in futility.
Yep.
And Jason Dyer, speaking of Jason, coming in with another $2 super chat. Wes as Freddy Krueger in Scream. Yes.
Would you call me?
Would you call
Yes.
me? Yeah, it's so classic. It is,
Yes.
Jason. I love that. It's
Hey, Fred.
what a
Sorry, Fred. Not you, Fred.
yeah. Where'd you go, you little shoots? Shoots. What'd you call me? And what's so cool is that West even did that. Like, and it just shows you how he wasn't. Oh, he could make fun and not take himself so serious.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
some directors may be like, "Oh, I'm above doing something like that.
Yes.
I'm not going to do that. What are you talking about? I created that character." He's like, "No, let's go. I'll throw on the gear. Give me a hat." Wes used to always say he loved to do cameos in his movies so he could keep his SAG card active. So, because it's like if I'm in a cameo, I could stay in the Screen Actors Guild.
Hey, Hitchcock
Wow.
did it in every single one of his movies. He had a cameo. So
Yeah, I mean,
he's known for that.
you're still in the union.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Remember
Also sounds
Joel
like
in Scream
Stephen
2?
King.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him, but he ain't in the union no more. I love that scene. Jason, thank you, my man. Appreciate you so much. All right, Jack, I think you're up now, right? So, Jack, tell us about a movie that just jumps out to you for Wes.
So we're just talking about a movie or a specific scene? Are we getting
Both,
into
like
that
like
yet?
the like
Okay.
the movie, and then we could talk about the scene.
Well, I think I have to mention A Nightmare on Elm Street, being one of the first movies that actually scared the wits out of me. Look at that poster. I have it on VHS, like one of the first VHS releases of the movie back at home on Long Island. I got a whole shelf of them, and I have that's the cover of it. It's beautiful. But the scene that really scared the wits out of me in that movie was Tina's last dream, right before her death.
Okay.
And in specific, when she turns around, she's walking in the alleyway, she turns around, and she sees just Freddy with those long arms. There is something so eerie about the way he shot that scene that still to this day, that is the most... when you see nightmare scenes in movies, there's still a sense of like you don't really feel it, you don't really believe it. When I watch this scene, it's to me the best depiction of a nightmare in any movie I've ever seen. The helplessness that you feel during this scene, and the way it's shot, where it's dark, all you do is see his silhouette at first.
Yep.
And the obscureness of the long arms. Which, to mention, all practical again. You guys know I love all practical effects.
That's right.
And when she's like, "Dear God," and he's like, "This is God. Like, there is no God here." Oh, there it is. The perfect shot. Yep.
There it is.
There it is.
God. So in his nightmare, you're in his little world. That's it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And then even pulling out to the outside world with Rod and the hopelessness that he feels not being able to help. And then eventually leading into the rest of his character arc in the movie of running away as a fugitive. Just that whole... I mean, the movie was set up from the opening shots, but if anything, that really was the start of the movie, was Tina's death. I mean, that was where Nancy then came into play, and everything just started playing out. And I've seen it probably over 20 times, the movie, and it just is that gut punch every single time I watch that scene. So it's like age is like a fine wine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So,
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. It does.
Oh, yeah.
Every time I watch it, Original Nightmare, it's just, I enjoy it. It's a good movie. It's like, it's got great rewatchability, even though it's, 84? I mean, gosh, man, that's all these years
play
later.
it at the theater here in Tucson every year. They play like horror movies every Tuesday, and they always play A Nightmare on Elm Street every year. So I didn't see it last year, but I'm so ready to go back and see it this year. See it in the theaters.
Heck yeah, man!
I got to see Halloween '78 in the theaters, and now I got to go see Nightmare on Elm Street. That'd be my top two.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Good memories. All right, Jenical, what Wes Craven movie comes to your mind when you think about him?
Well, the very first Wes Craven movie I ever saw, it was actually on TV. and I just happened to turn it on, and it was Nightmare 3.
Okay.
And I mean, I was captivated by the movie. I mean, I just love the whole concept. I didn't know about 1 and 2. This was my introduction to Nightmare on Elm Street, and just seeing all the dreams and them entering each other's dreams, and it was fascinating. And my favorite scene in that whole movie was when Jennifer died. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Man,
Iconic.
look at that.
Yes.
Oh my
gosh.
goodness.
That was
Practical,
great.
baby, practical.
Yep.
And that's what I think. I think of that every time Sydney throws the TV on Stu.
Oh,
She says, "In your dreams."
Yes. In your
Yes.
dreams. I love it.
Sid
It's
had her own tagline.
She did. But it's such a meta Easter egg to Dream
Yes, it
Warriors.
is.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Love that. That's awesome. I have to say, thinking back to Nightmare, and since we're on that Nightmare train just for a second, it's a Nightmare train that's fun to ride, though. Not like, like the Nightmare train sounds terrible. That's a fun one. There's a scene that you guys all know it, and it's one of my most epic Craven moments for me, and it has to be the death of Tina in Nightmare 1. That the
man.
upside down spinning room, just friggin'
goodness.
amazing. And I love hearing Wes when he described how they designed this and how they executed this thing. And it's all practical, as Jack was saying. There's no digital enhancement. They literally had to construct this thing up on a platform that would rotate full 360 around, and they had to nail down all the lamps, all of the tables, so that when you're upside down, it looks like you can't tell. Nothing moves. Like the curtains don't fly up, and
yeah.
just incredible detail. And I'm telling you,
Jeez.
I challenge you to watch that scene and not be convinced that and I mean we know it's a movie, but not be convinced it's real. That looks real to me.
Yes.
It just
Oh yeah.
I could hear that photo. When you look at a photo, you can hear it. I can
Yes.
hear her screaming right now. That's how
Oh.
much it's
And
ingrained
being
in
dragged
my
across the
conscience.
ceiling.
Yeah.
oh my gosh. And he's like, Dana! She's just screaming for
my
help.
goodness.
And just blood dragging all over the walls, and then just oh my gosh, it's incredible. I remember the first time I saw that, it was like because I saw it I didn't see it in theaters. Okay, I saw it at home, and when this scene ended, and when she fell down on the bed or the floor or whatever, and all the pile of blood and stuff, I had to pause it. I stopped it and had to get up and go push the water in my face and get a drink. Because I couldn't, I was like, I got to take a break. I cannot just keep going. It affected me really big time.
Yes.
Just gave me the most. It was like, this ain't right. This is not supposed to be happening. This is awful. Because it was executed so well. So it all comes down to that execution night. We always say
That's
it.
right. It always comes down to that.
Always. And before we continue on, I do see we've got some super chats that have come through as we've been chatting. So let's see what we got here. Okay, the first one was from, going to go in the order they came in. Hey, my buddy Brett James Bishop, one of our pillars of the community here on the channel. What's up, Brett? Brett's going to be joining me later on this month as well on the panel. I've decided to get my first tattoo. Oh, wow. And it's inspired by Lynn McCree's Wes story about perspective. Yes. It's taken years to decide on it, and Wes's approach to life was beyond inspiring. I'm currently designing it. That is awesome, Brett. Wow. And for those of you who may not be aware of what he's talking about, on my channel, and it's under the interviews tab right now on the front page, there's an interview there I did with Lynn McCree, who you may know her better as Maureen Prescott from the Scream franchise, and she was sharing some backstage stories while filming Scream 3, and a moment about how Wes was always so even, calm, very calm and even, like what Jamie Kennedy said. Even then, how he was just calm. He was always just even keel. And she said that he had gotten off the phone with the Weinsteins, and he had this look on his face of like he was frustrated. And she asked him, she says, "Everything okay, Wes?" And he says, "Oh, well, just a call from just Miramax on the phone." And he started to walk away, and then she said, "Wes, can I ask you a question?" He said, "So how is it? What's your secret to always being able to be calm and even tempered and all this?" And she said he stopped and he took his glasses off, I think, for a second, and he looked at her and he just said, "Perspective." And then he walked away. That was it. That was one word. Perspective. That's how he was able to do it. So it was an awesome story. It was very moving and touching that night. I'll never forget it when she said that. So Brett, that's incredible, man. That's really, really cool. And Brett, I'm going to have Lynn McCree on my channel again this month. She's going to come back to help celebrate the month of Wes Craven, which is what this whole month of August is going to be for me. We're going to celebrate it. This was the kickoff. She's going to come back towards the end of the month for an interview again. And make sure that you're on the stream if you can make it, obviously. If not, I'll let her know that story, because that's really, really cool, and I think she would like to hear that. Thank you, buddy, for your super chat. That's so generous of you, Brett. Appreciate you, man.
You can get a picture of the tattoo.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Please.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, in fact, send the design when you're done. I want to see the design, the mock-up even. I would love to see it.
Yes.
That'd be really cool. Next up, in order of timestamp, Anthony. What's up, Anthony? Anthony is the king of questions.
Yes. He is the king of wishful thinking.
Anthony will get you scratching your head, and not because you have dandruff, but because your brain is racked trying to think of an answer. And so Anthony says, tough question. Really, Anthony? A tough question tonight? Okay. Do you guys think Scream 6 needs to not be too successful without Nev if they hope to bring her back for 7, or won't matter much?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Wow.
Well, I see where you're going there, because one school of thought says, I hope, if it goes really low, they're going to be like, we got to get Nev back. And that's one school of thought. The other school of thought is, if it does really well, then they can afford to pay Nev what she wants in 7.
But if it does too bad, then we won't have a 7 at all.
If it does too bad.
That's too bad.
That's too bad.
That's right.
Too bad.
That's the thing. I always say this, and I want to get you guys' thoughts, but I always say, let's make sure they make enough money to make a 7th movie. We got to have a 7th movie to have her back. So my thought is, and then I'll pass it around, my thought is, Anthony, it needs to be successful, because I want to make sure a 7th movie's made. Even if she's not in it, I still want another Scream movie. So, but I hope she is. But yeah, I say it needs to be successful to make a 7th one, and then all hope is, like Melissa Barrera said last week, she says, hopefully we can get her back if there's a next one, which I thought was kind of telling. It made me wonder, I'm like, does she know something that we don't know? Does she already know? Is Nev going to have a cameo? Is all this stuff going to end up being true, and she actually is at the end of this movie? I'm a little bit leaning now. I'm more in the middle than I was before. So we'll see. We won't know really until next year. But it just was interesting that she said that. Maybe we can get her back if there's a next one. Like, because I'm like, that's interesting. Okay, Knight, what are your thoughts, man? And we'll go around the panel.
Yeah, just to also say about that thing with Melissa, that's exactly what I was thinking too, man. I was like, so you're telling me there's a chance?
That's how I took it.
Come on.
Because you would think if it was like so bitterly like bad, she wouldn't even say that. She'd just leave it alone.
That's right.
So I thought that was kind of telling.
Absolutely. I agree with you though. 6, we need it to make money. We need it to make
Yes.
money because we want to get a 7, and then we'll just hope and pray. I'll be hoping and praying because I absolutely love Nev, and if we've talked about this before, but I think there's a chance that she would come back to a 7. I really do. Now maybe that's just the fan in me, but I really think there's a good chance she'll come back in 7. If and who knows about 6? Maybe it will be a little cameo, but I really do think there's a good chance she'll come back in 7. But to me,
Yeah.
6 has to be successful. It has to make money. So that's what I think.
100%.
Yeah.
Carrie, how about you? You have any additional thoughts? You agree with that?
I'm hoping for a cliffhanger, and I'm hoping that maybe we get a familiar voice at the end that sounds a little bit like Sydney, or maybe a back of a head, or I'm still hoping. I'm still in hopes.
Yeah, definitely. Jack, how about you, man? What are your thoughts on the box office for Scream 6? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if I understand what Anthony's saying, but it's like, imagine it did tank and then we're left on some big cliffhanger and we never get a 7, and then at that point, to me, it would have ended at 4 or 5 would have been a complete story at that point.
Just like completely like cut 6 out of the catalog. Like there is no Scream 6. It just stopped at 5.
5 is just that's just the one and done. So we do need it to do good. I don't know, like what other ways could the studio get the message, I mean, money is the biggest thing, but are there other ways? I mean, fan petitions, I don't know. I think they probably know how we all feel about it. But I just, it's like yeah, I rest my case. I think you're dude, you're on the right track. I mean, we have to secure a 7 before we can even talk about Nev being in it. So, yeah, 100%. Jenical, anything you'd like to add for that on that?
I think it's going to be a fabulous movie, whether she comes back or not. I mean, personally, I don't think she is coming back, and I've said all along that you really don't need her to come back because her story ended. It's not about her anymore. So I think that the current cast carry the franchise forward, and I think it's going to be a good movie with good story. So why not have a 7? And we'll see. We'll see if, as long as Stu comes back.
Heck yeah. Jen, you had me at Stu. I'm all yours. I'm all yours. You had me at Stu.
That's 100%. What I wanted to hear.
That's right.
You're speaking his language.
That's right. The way to a man's heart is through Stu Mocker, at least mine. Anthony, thank you, buddy. Great question, my friend. Keep those coming, man. Keep those coming. We're just getting started tonight. This is a party tonight, so we're not going anywhere anytime soon. And let's see, we got another super chat that came through here, and it is from Mr. Jason Dyer with a $10 super chat. Jason, thank you, man. Wow, so generous tonight, as always. Appreciate you, brother. Wanted, Lethal Collective members. Must love horror, be good-hearted, willing to have fun, love Ed Harris dance moves. Benefits, great horror content, and lots of laughs. Oh, that's right, Jason. Oh, my gosh. Man.
Gotta love Ed Harris moves.
Got to, man. I'm telling you.
Every time I watch Westworld, I think of Unite. I'm like, there he is.
Exactly.
It's so awesome, man. Jason's always coming up, man. We said it earlier, and I'll say it again. Always coming up with just something unexpected. Always. And that, by the way, Jason, real quick, I just had to say this. We're talking about Lethal Collective. General Jen, if you wouldn't mind putting a link right now in the chat, because we got like 60 people here and a lot of new folks are joining. So if you could put a link to the Lethal Collective, if you wouldn't mind, right now in the live chat, because guys, we are only 200 and help me out, Knight. We did the math last night.
264,
I think. I
something like that.
think that's right. Something like that. 264 subs away from 1,000. We are to be a monetized channel. And when we get a monetized channel, guys, we're going to be able to do so much more. We're going to be able to we're going to have channel memberships with exclusive Lethal Collective content. We're going to have merch. It's going to be crazy. Dogs and cats
living together.
It's going to be insanity. So all I can tell you is if you want to see the Lethal Collective taken to the next level, help us get to 1,000 subs. We only need 264. And if half of the people here tonight haven't subbed, that's going to help us knock that down to like 230, 220. It's getting closer and closer. So the general, Val is putting a link in the chat right now. I probably already has. And if you would just click that right now and just go, bam, subscribe, bell notification, and you're going to check out our live streams. Because Knight from the Night Watch Zone here is with me, Fate Decided, who I see's in the chat, and Killjoy Jake. Makes the four of us make the collective. So anyway, if you like this kind of content, we do it together twice a week, and it's a lot of fun. So Jason, thank you, my friend. Now, a couple of real quick chats I have to put up. My buddy Chris from Discover Montreal. You guys know my inside connection on the ground. And Chris is saying, don't worry, she's in 6 with a wink. Now Chris, buddy,
Chris,
man,
no.
I'm telling you, man.
My beating heart, Chris.
I
Come
know,
on.
Chris, you just got my heart skipping because Chris knows some folks. So, Chris, you and I are we're gonna talk on Instagram after this stream. we gotta talk. And real quick,
breaking news tomorrow.
It might be. It might be.
Oh no, I don't want to hear it.
Sorry, Jen. I'm sorry, Jen. I owe it to the people. And real quick, I saw this. Dragonfrost says, "Hey, Craven, something scary. How are you? First time in a live stream." Well, Dragon, welcome. Welcome to the community.
I love dragons.
Cool name.
It is. I like Dragonfrost. Guys, make sure if you haven't yet, give Dragonfrost a real warm welcome in the live chat tonight. Dragon, I think you're going to find this to be the most friendly and supportive community in YouTube. I absolutely just love everyone here. Such good people. So you're welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. And I hope you'll stick around. I stream 3 times a week. So sometimes more, impromptu. But usually 3 times a week. About this same time. So I'd love to see you. And welcome. Glad you're here. Okay. All right, guys. So let's keep on discussing some moments here. Knight, let's go back to you now. What's another movie, man, that comes out to you as one of your favorites?
Well, I think I'll go with probably Serpent in the Rainbow.
Ooh, okay.
And the reason I'll go with that one because that's a crazy Wes Craven movie.
Yes.
And it actually, when I say scary, I mean it in a way where it really goes below the surface for me. You know what I'm saying? Just the whole story. And of course, Bill Pullman was really, really good in it. When I saw that as a kid, first of all, I remember seeing the trailer for it, or it might have been, on TV, showing, a commercial of it or trailer, whatever. That scene where he's buried alive, and I'm not dead, and he couldn't move and all that type of stuff. That stuck with me for a long time as a kid, man.
Look at that shot. Oh,
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Is he covered in blood?
Yes. And obviously it dealt with like voodoo and all this other type of stuff. So it was it was grounded in stuff that for me, I'm just like, hey man, I stay away from all that stuff, man. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
The closest I want to get to that stuff is a movie. You know what I'm saying? But
Facts.
but yeah, that was not only a movie, but one of those moments in a movie that really affected me as a kid. I actually did not watch that movie for quite a few years, after that first time, because I watched it one night. It was a Saturday night. We had gone to Blockbuster, and of course, my mom and my dad were so cool because they were like, okay, you guys can rent, 2 or 3 movies for the weekend. So of course, I'm dragging my little brother, Killian, to the horror section,
Yep.
and I'm like, that movie, that's the one. That was one of the ones we got. And, he couldn't even get through half of it. And I understand that, but I'm watching it in the dark, in the basement, Saturday evening. And it shook me,
Yeah.
to this day, it's still one of those creepy movies. And of course, Wes, is a big part of that. Just the way he directed the story, directed the movie.
Oh gosh. And it's one of those movies that you don't hear. It's kind of more under the radar movies,
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
even in our circles that we have
Hmm.
run in here in this community,
Yep.
you don't hear many people talking about Serpent and the Rainbow. It's
Yep.
kind of a under the radar movie.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that it's definitely worth watching. Have you guys on the panel all seen it? Have you guys all seen it?
I saw it
Cool.
once when I was so young that like if I watched it again, it probably would count as another first time viewing because right over my head, I was so young and I was watching so many movies at one time that it just blurred together. But I know I've seen it.
Yeah, yeah. Carrie, how about you? Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I've been wanting to though because I really like Bill Pullman, but I just
Yeah.
never
Yes.
watched it.
And he's fantastic in that movie.
Yes, sir.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. And Jen, did you say, Jenical, you
No.
have not seen it, right?
I have not seen it.
Okay. That
But
might
there's
be
a
watch
lot of
party.
movies I need to see.
Well, honestly, that's the same for all of us, I think. At
Oh,
the end of the
yes.
day.
Yes.
Well, going through his filmography, I've learned that I have a journey that I should be going through.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do me a favor, Carrie.
25 movies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do me a favor. If you want to start watching some that you've never seen, let me know first, because I would love to jump on that with you and as a first time watch for you to see your reactions. Would love that.
I know one movie that I want to see of his, and that's Summer of Fear.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
Because I saw that Linda Blair is in
Linda
it.
Blair. Yes, indeed.
I'm
I've seen
intrigued.
it. Yep.
It's free on YouTube, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Oh, well, we should do.
Cool.
That's a cool one. We could do as a watch party too.
Mhm.
I'm open, man, because it's the Wes Craven month. This is the month to celebrate, and so we should something to think about. All right, and Jennifer says I've never seen it either. It's crazy, and it is. It is.
Yes.
It's filmed primarily on location in Haiti,
Mm-hmm.
and the environment over there, the government, it's very unstable, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have filmed that somewhere and called it
Again, the
Haiti,
camera?
Yes.
but they didn't. They actually went there on location, and yeah. So anyway, it's pretty amazing that Wes went there and actually shot on. I think he even said there was one point towards the end of the movie that they were like, if we don't get out of here, like today, we're not going to get out of here. There was some kind of government riot overturning the thing.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's like, we have to leave. Is what
Wait,
their tour guide, their representative said. You need to leave now.
Yep. Yeah. I have so much respect for Wes in that because he would go to locations for movies like that. He was in the friggin' swamp when he was doing Swamp Thing, which a lot of people don't talk about Swamp Thing with Adrienne
That's
Barbeau
true.
in it. And I literally I did an episode on it, and we had images of Wes with those those galoshes up to his mid thigh in the swamp as he's
Yes.
directing.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, this guy, he knows what's up. He was a boss. He was
Not
a
afraid to
boss.
get his hands dirty.
That's right.
No. Well,
That's
even
right.
in Scream 4, we have that scene where he's literally standing on the roof of like Kirby's house, and he's not wired in. He's like he's not like safety harnessed or anything. I'm like, dude, you don't have to do that. You got 150 people here on site that can do this.
That's right.
But he was a purist, man, and you gotta love it. And something else you gotta love, man, is our man Jason Dyer coming in with another super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. And he's just wanting to say, welcome, Dragon Frost. This community is awesome. Thank you, Jason. Thank you so much. And I completely agree. Best on YouTube. Yeah. What do the kids say? Fight me. Fight me. It's the best. Yeah. Whatever. No, I'm not into fighting. What did Rodney Dangerfield say? I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover.
Oh, I thought you were going to say thrill me instead of fight me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, if you had my phone number, you could call me.
Thrill me.
There you go. Something like that.
Oh man.
Okay. So, Carrie, let's move back to you now. Let's talk about another movie that comes to mind for Wes that you love.
And I guess this one's another one that's under the radar, and that is Red Eye.
Yes.
Yes.
It's going to be one of my watch parties this month.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It is so good. Like, I remember when it first came out, and obviously I already knew of Wes Craven, so I knew it was obviously going to be really good. So I think I got the DVD right away, and I watched it, and I was enthralled by the whole story. I was enthralled by Rachel McAdams' acting and Cillian Murphy with those piercing eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to see him in a dark alley somewhere.
That's right.
No, you
that
don't.
guy, he's got rules.
Well, he transitions really well, though, because he transitions from the good guy into this psychopath.
Yes.
Like, he does it very, very well. But my favorite scene is, of course, the ending when Rachel McAdams is fighting him at the house.
Yes. Yes. And I remember when I watched that ending, I saw it in theaters, and I thought to myself, and this isn't a horror movie, but Wes makes it. He brings the same
that
suspense.
Yes, the edge.
I'm telling you, there were moments in that third act that I felt just as tense, tightened up as I would in a Scream movie.
I seriously felt remnants of Sydney in Rachel McAdams' character. I felt it, because she's showing her scar that she was once, taken over by someone, and she felt weak, and literally it was, by the end, her fighting him, she was liberating herself from what was holding her back before.
Yes.
That's right.
And that's what I loved. Because she finally got her strength back.
I'm so glad you pointed that out, Carrie, because I too always felt that connection between her and Sydney. And I'll never forget when I saw that movie. My grandmother, she was like 80 at the time, and she took me to Blockbuster, and I picked up Red Eye and Flight Plan with Jodie Foster. And it was like a double feature that night with her. So we watched Flight Plan, and then we watched Red Eye, and oh my goodness, like what a 4-hour period of like heart racing movies, and to end it with Red Eye was just like the icing on the cake. Such a good movie. Steven knows how much I love that movie.
I do. And so you're ready to go buy an airplane ticket to go fly somewhere the next day?
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
Just beware of charming men that are named Jack the Ripper.
You don't look. You
That are
don't have
named
to worry.
Jack the Ripper.
I'm a nice
You didn't let
guy.
me finish.
Yeah.
You didn't let me finish.
Sorry. I was going
said-
for the punchline.
Oh. I was gonna say, dead or named Jack the Ripper.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
Which I think his actual name was Jack Ripner.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
But
Yeah.
it just
Ripner.
sounded like Jack the Ripper.
Not too bad.
I was just about to say that. Oh, that's too bad.
That's
Good
too
old
bad.
You gotta have the hands up. The hands up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the hands up, man.
Do it,
too bad.
do it again, Steven.
Yeah.
You
Not too bad.
Gotta have that hand.
Not too bad.
gotta do
Not too bad.
Oh my gosh. Oh my word.
Not Meg.
Not not Meg. That's too
Oh
bad.
man. Oh. God.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was funny. Jack, man, tell me
The way
another
that you
movie.
don't want somebody to react when you're dying in a horror movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Right?
Right.
Oh,
Ah.
you're dead. That's too
Oh,
bad.
Oh,
man.
Bad.
That sucks. Yeah.
Not
There's
Jack.
no cheese on my
That's too
cheeseburger.
bad.
Yeah,
That's
not
too
Jack.
bad.
So
Oh my
bad.
god.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's like
They forgot
yeah.
the pickles on my cheeseburger. That's too bad.
Yeah.
Where's the mustard?
Not too bad.
The way he looks away too, like that. Oh,
Oh no, not me.
Not too bad.
All right, I gotta stop. I gotta.
man. It's so good. It's so
Emotional damage.
The train's about to go off the rails.
oh my god.
Oh man. Woo. Okay. Let's see here, Jack. I think you're
Okay.
up next.
Yeah.
You know what, Jack? How about this, man? You know what? We've been going an hour and a half. We're kind of at that midway point of the stream, probably. How would you guys feel about a little tribute to Wes with some live guitar playing? We can, what do you think, man? How you feeling?
Yeah.
You up for it?
Sure.
Okay.
Just give me 2 seconds.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, there's so many moments and movies, and you know what? I'll tell you what. This is something else I want to do, and I haven't done this yet, and I want to do it right now because everybody out there who is a channel member and a supporter, like Brandon in the building tonight, joined right here on this stream. And so I want to get in, and Brandon, I'm going to have your name updated for any new videos that come out starting tomorrow. But I want to give you guys the spotlight for a minute. So for all of you out there who are supporting this channel financially every month, you guys making a major difference, and I appreciate each of you. And this spotlight's on you now. It's for you guys. Let's go. Thank you guys again so much. I appreciate you all. It's tremendous. I'm so humbled every time I put the list together and update it, and I'm just like, wow, it really is humbling. We got a cat on the stream.
It's Deputy Dewey. It's Dewey.
Dewey.
Ready? Say. I'm 25. I was 24 for a whole year.
Hey, Jack, you have just given us concrete evidence that Dewey is alive.
Oh,
Dewey
absolutely.
is still alive.
He's got
Oh,
9
yeah.
lives.
He's a
does.
shapeshifter.
There you go.
Yep. That's awesome.
That's right. Oh my gosh. So Jack, it's Wes Craven's birthday, my man, and we're
Yes.
here having a good time celebrating tonight. So tell me, what's on your mood? What's on your mind? What carte blanche to you, man. What are you in the mood to play tonight for us?
As Dewey's just total.
Oh, Dewey.
What am I gonna play tonight? Well,
Yeah.
I think we need to honor
Yes.
Stu Macher. I think we need to throw him in there too, because that's
think so.
Wes brought him to life. I
Yes, he
think
did.
that's appropriate. So, what do you guys think? It's up to you.
100%.
100%.
There it is.
There he
There we go.
is.
Yep.
Get it up.
All right, sounds good. Everybody, all aboard the Stew train. Everybody got their tickets. Tickets ready. Steven's gonna punch him at the door. Make
There
sure
it
you have your
is.
tickets out.
That's right. And Jack, tell them how they can get a ticket. What do they need to do to get a ticket, Jack?
You can send in a $5 super chat.
That's right. A $5 super chat right now buys your ticket to the Stew Train, designed by Carrie Crave Cinema, who's on the panel right now. And I will send you out via email or social media your very own ticket. And a lot of folks have said they've gotten their tickets. They've printed them out. They've got them framed on their wall at work, on their desk. A lot of cool stuff. So, yeah, guys, you need to be on the Stew Train. So send in a super chat for $5 and just say just say Stew Train, and I'll take care of you. And Jack's going to play us a tune that you'll hear on that train when Stu arrives for Scream 7. And we're ready
Keep
to
it going.
roll.
Keep the stew convo going. Give me 30 seconds. Let me tune up real quick.
All
Keep
over
it going.
the
Keep
road.
it going. Keep it going. Keep
I
it going.
I can do that, my friend. I'm an untrained professional. All right, so here's the thing, man. The Stew Train is purring. I've always got it in the back. It's getting maintenanced because you can't leave like something sitting for a long time. It'll rot out. Pipes will burst. So it's getting maintenanced all the time. Fresh fuel, fresh oil, fresh.
I'm running security for it.
Yes, you are, brother. You are. I was going to hire a crew, but all I need to see is those arms, and they're going to run. They don't need to be anybody else there. So, Knight is the chief of security of the Stew Train, and it is. Let me tell you, it's getting fully stocked. We got VIP sections. It's all available, guys. So, get your ticket. You don't want to miss the Stew Train ever.
That's right.
Sweet.
I'm
Jack,
all set to go. Yep.
You see there? Seamless. Perfection, my friend.
I love it. All right, everybody. Choo choo. Here we go.
Stew.
On the Stew Train. Get your ticket on the Stew Train.
Oh, you won't be able to see that.
We got craving something scary on the left and I'm on the right. On the Stew Train. Get your ticket on the Stew Train.
I got mine. Do you got yours? Let's go. Get it up.
We got craving something scary on the left and Stew's on the right.
What's up, Fate?
Hey.
Get your ticket on the Stew Train. We got craving something scary. He's on the left. I'm on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is.
On the Stew Train. Get your ticket on the Stew Train. We got craving something scary. He's on the left. And Stu's on the right.
Yeah, he is. Get it up.
Last time.
Let's do it.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
Happy birthday to a legend. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Wes Craven.
Yeah. What a nice way to end it. Well done. Well done.
Awesome,
I
Jack.
can hear you guys. There we go.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you, Jack. Well done, my man.
Absolutely.
Brett says, how blessed we are to have so many creative people in the cult of Craven. That is so true.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm telling you, it is It is a blessing. It's a fountain of amazing people and talent, and just in all different gifts and talents. It's so great. Wow, that's so cool. And you know what? Let's go ahead and get back to some more Craven talk. I got another clip. I'm gonna save that for a bit later since we had an awesome song. That was fantastic. Love it.
Absolutely.
Love it, Jack.
Oh, thank you.
The Cult of Craven. Merchandise coming soon, ladies and gentlemen.
Cult of Craven.
Yes.
Oh.
Coming very, very soon. Stay tuned. All right. And by the way, I never say this, but just for the heck of it, why not? If you have not connected with me on social media, please come connect with me on Instagram, on Twitter, and yeah, at Facebook. I got a Facebook page there for the channel as well. I do update there every now and then, but honestly, Instagram and Twitter is really where I spend my time if I'm on social media. So if you haven't come over, just come follow me over there. We have a great time, and I post new videos, and sometimes I'll post random things. I'm in the middle of editing a video, and like Red Right Hand will start playing on my playlist. I'm like, how fitting to have Red Right Hand.
You know, the bell ding. The bell intro. Yep.
Yeah, it's great. I'm like, hey man, how about that? I'm sitting here editing a Scream 6 video, and here's Red Right Hand just comes up randomly. It's so great. Anyway, so guys, let's get back to it. Where are we at here? Jack, are you up next, or is it Jen? Where are we at? Help me out.
Oh, I'm up. Yeah, that's right.
You're up next. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's right in the bottom row.
So,
all right. What's a movie?
We got to talk about Last House on the Left. It's the first movie. Come on, we got to rip the Band-Aid off somehow. So
yes.
Look at that. Oh my goodness.
Yes. Still shocking.
Yep.
I still am tempted to do a watch party. I don't know. I may swap one out. I don't know. That's just so. It's such a hard watch. We'll see. Go ahead, Jack. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I've only seen this movie 3 times, and it, just like Steven, it's a very tough movie for me to watch. But I recently did my 3rd rewatch a couple months ago. I think it was when we started talking, Steven, and watched it, and again, same feeling of just like utter like you need to go take a shower after you watch the movie.
Yes.
And I think a scene that stands out the most, such a hard thing to pick because there's so many things that really stood out in this movie, but the whole final act of the parents getting their revenge for what happened to their daughter. I don't think I've yet to see a movie that has had a more satisfying, like,
it's true,
comeback, you know, because when I watched that movie and, you know, the whole chainsaw thing, and then the oh my goodness, like, it brings me right back, you feel it in your gut. And I think it's the same with the original Texas Chainsaw, like the way it was shot on that grainy film back then in the 70s. It just added more to the realism. And like if it was shot with modern day films, I don't know if it would, like a modern day technology, I don't know if it would have had that same gut impact, because it felt like I was literally watching a snuff film. It felt real.
Oh yeah.
It felt so real. And watching the last 15 minutes of the movie, where there's like no music over it, it's just all ambience and the chainsaw and the screams and everything. It is just so incredibly haunting. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like to have experienced that in the theater. Like people just going like, oh, we're going to go see a movie on a date night. And then you go and you see that, and you know, you had no idea what you really were getting yourself into. I could imagine people probably vomiting in the theater. So
listen, man, I've seen
look at
vomit.
the bottom. It says to avoid fainting.
Yeah. It's
repeating. It's only a movie.
Yep. That's the classic. I'll keep watching the trailer of that. It's such a good trailer. It's only a movie.
It's only a movie. They keep repeating it, like chanting it. Yes.
Yeah. It's eerie.
It is.
Yeah. And I see Aiden says right here, he said the remake of Last House feels so Hollywood. Absolutely, it does.
Yes, totally does.
Yeah.
It feels polished and glassed over.
Yeah. And I love Aaron Paul. Aaron Paul was in the movie, but
Yes.
it just it and it's the problem with a lot of movies today is like they just feel so polished. They don't feel gritty. Horror movies are supposed to feel gritty and real, and you're supposed to feel like you're there. And the overuse of CGI and the overuse of like super high definition cameras where like it's a different sense of realism when you have like a 4K movie and you're watching it in 4K. You see it, it's very, very detailed, but when you watch it from that old film, it feels like an old home movie, essentially. And I think that's what really, really was so strong about that movie. So,
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at that. That's great. That's a great shot. That is the shot.
That is, man. That just pure.
the smile on his face.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is the essence of fulfilled revenge, fulfilling, avenging. It's just all any way you want to describe it. Just and as anyone who's a parent, if you're a parent, you're going to connect in a different level. If you're not a parent, you're still going to connect to it. But I'm just saying, if you have kids and you watch this movie and that's your daughters, man. When those parents, believe me, it could be any one of us could be those parents. That's all I'm going to say.
That's right.
It's any given moment. If everything is aligned just right, it could snap.
Again, it's real characters, Wes. It's that realism of the characters that's so powerful. You ever watch a movie where, like, especially modern day movies, where you're like, I don't relate to any of these people. Because they're so bland and one-leveled that you're just like, I don't even believe that these are real people. It's clear that they're actors.
Yeah.
And he did that so well of just where you're like, wow, like that could be me. I could be one of those Ghostface victims. I could be a survivor. It adds to it, and I think if anybody should learn anything from Wes Craven and other old classic film directors as well, it's the sense of really understanding the human experience and the human condition. So,
Oh yeah.
Well said.
Well said. And before we get Jenical's next Craven movie, Bob's coming in with a $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says, happiest cult in the world. Yes, we are. Hashtag for Wes. Thank you, Bob. That's right, buddy. I always love it, man. Bob always just comes in every time and says, man, we're the happiest cult on earth. And that warms my heart. I mean, I really mean that. It does. It really does. Every time I see that, I'm like, that's pretty awesome. Thank you, Bob. All right, Jen, let's talk to you now. What's another Wes Craven movie that comes to mind?
Definitely The Bastard Child, I guess. Scream 3.
Oh, I love Scream 3.
I love Scream 3.
Yes.
I particularly love Roman's reveal because telling the whole story of Maureen and why this all started is so fascinating. I love it's almost like a prequel inside a sequel.
That's a good way to say it. It is. Yeah.
And I just love when that happens.
It is great. And I've never been one that had a problem with the whole exposition at the end. Some people it bugs some people. I think it's great. I actually enjoy it myself. That see, like behind him, he's showing the video with Maureen.
Yep.
And it's behind him there, and he's explaining the whole thing to Sydney, and she's like, "Who the heck are
Looks
you?"
like you can't get past the surface of things.
Yeah.
Sid. Boom. Yeah.
Oh man.
Roman. That's a good pick, Jen. I'm with you.
Thank you.
Oh, man, all the love. Hashtag love Scream 3. Put it in the chat if you love Scream 3. Hashtag Scream 3 love. We love 3. I love S3.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, man. All right. So, Knight, let's come back to you, man. What's any more movies that come to mind?
I also want to show some love to the people under the stairs.
Hmm.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
um,
yes.
again,
Nice.
this is another movie where I saw it at a very young age, and this movie hit a little bit differently, because there were a lot of different undertones in the movie, and Wes was able to convey them very easily without hitting you over the head with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's a very tricky thing to be able to do, but he's able to it seems like he's just able to do those things so effortlessly in his movies. But one of the scenes, now you got both of these parents are just crazy. Okay, they're absolutely crazy. And it's not like a Freddy Krueger, and it's not like Ghost Face or anything like that. These are just two people that are so manic and intense and aggressive
Mm-hmm.
and so forth. The scene with the bathtub where the mother takes the daughter and starts talking about, we have to cleanse you,
Yes.
and spitting out Bible verses and this and that, and the water is scalding hot. You see the steam, and they're screaming
Oh.
and so forth, and she's taking that steel, that brush, you know what I mean,
Yes.
and scrubbing
Yes.
her and scrubbing her. And it's so funny because I remember um seeing an interview with the actress who plays the mother, and she was talking about how they went over the scene ahead of time, and Wes, was pretty much just trying to get everyone in a comfortable space because he knew that they were going to be at like level 10 in that scene.
Yep.
And when they did the scene, and it was shot, Wes was basically saying, yelling after a while, cut, we're done, because they were so emotional, the yelling
Wow.
and the yelling and the screaming. And after it, they held each other, right there in the tub, and kind of were crying and kind of laughing because they got their emotions so high in that moment. Um, but that's just, one scene in the movie that really,
Wow.
it just hit me, and People on the
Yes.
Stairs is so underrated, in my opinion.
I agree.
So underappreciated. And I loved that movie through my whole life, but especially as a young kid watching it. That was something that I had on a pretty much a steady rotation, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Great. It's a great movie. We watched it last month as a
Yes.
watch party, and it was
Hmm.
so nice to revisit that movie again. And yeah, that whole scene, those parents, those the man and woman, that's all they were. Their name was the man and woman.
Yes. Yep.
Man, they just
He
terrible,
didn't need
man.
names.
They
No,
didn't.
they,
They
they
didn't.
didn't.
And
They
Everett
did
McGill,
not.
man. I mean, I'm telling you,
Oh my
both of
gosh.
them. He
Yes.
was crazy. She was great. I mean, it was just like wow. And it also speaks to how Wes can make you feel that way, about someone. It didn't, like I said, it didn't have to be a supernatural thing. It doesn't have to be, a maniac per se. This is a mother and a father, quote unquote, mother and a father. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it,
Loosely.
yes, exactly. And they scare the crap out of you. You know.
That's right, man.
Yep.
And when you're young too, like something else he captured in a lot of these movies where he has younger people in them, you know, it's the fear of being at the mercy of the adults.
Yes.
Because, when you're a teenager even or in
Hmm.
younger, you
Hmm.
really are kind of you're at the mercy of the people that you were born to
That's
or
right.
adopted to, whatever the case is.
Hmm.
And so it's kind of creepy when you and it's not creepy if you have good parents, but I'm saying it could be really the idea that I'm dependent on this person for everything.
Yep.
They for my well being, my clothing, my food,
Hmm.
my everything. If you think
That's
about
right.
it,
Hmm.
and if you get someone who is not nurturing like they're supposed to be, and they're not caring for their kids the way they're supposed to, has to be terrifying for a kid.
Yes.
It's
I
got to be
agree.
absolutely terrifying because they can't just go out and get a job.
Hmm.
They don't, so and you see like kind of with Fool in that
Hmm.
movie. His
Yes.
mom is sick She's, and he's kind of out there trying to be an adult at like 11 years old.
That's right.
Essentially.
Yep.
And his uncle is dragging him into stealing, get him into already starting to keeping that cycle of criminals and violence and trying to keep it going to the next generation. And anyway, it's a good movie, and I think it's powerful. It speaks just as powerful in social commentary as any Jordan Peele movie.
I agree.
In my opinion, it's
absolutely.
And
it's probably what inspired Jordan Peele when you think about it.
Yes.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And Jordan Peele has talked about that. He's a big fan of People Under the Stairs. As he should be. In my opinion, as any horror fan should be.
Yeah, because it's done so well, and then, but what I loved about Wes's movies is that he would make a point, but make it in a way that was digestible.
Yes,
if that makes sense. And some filmmakers seem to be more about making a point than making a good movie.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Where you're like, it's beating you up over the head to the point it's distracting.
Yes,
and Wes never did that in his stuff. He knew the balance, and I that movie is brilliant. Somebody asked me the other day, should that movie ever be remade? In my opinion, I said no. I don't think it. I think it should be left exactly as it is. It's perfect to me. But
I don't think any Wes Craven movie should ever be remade.
I can't argue with that. I mean,
leave it as is.
Yep.
I mean, and that was the big thing about the Nightmare remake. It just, we can talk about a lot of things about that movie, but the glaring thing is that it just didn't have that heart and that charm that Wes imbued in the original Nightmare on Elm Street. You know what I mean? Like, the characters did not pop. I didn't connect with those characters, So,
yeah, man. 100%. Hey, guys, real quick before we move on, got a couple of super chats that have come through, and one of them is right here from the General. What's up, Val? Thank you so much. $5 super chat from the General. On 8/30/15, the horror world lost a huge piece of its foundation. Thanks for all the amazing movies to share for generations to come. #4Wes. You know what, Val? You didn't know this because you didn't know what I was getting my clips I have, but this actually is an amazing setup for my last special clip. I put 3 together for tonight. Now, we're not going to end the stream now, so don't everybody start leaving. But I just want to play this clip of Wes, and it ties right in to this super chat perfectly. So, Val, thank you for your support. Thank you for your truth here. You're 100% correct. And, we're still talking about Hitchcock, and we're going to still be talking about Craven 40 years from now. And, our kids and grandkids are going to still know that name in the annals of horror history. So let's actually check out a real quick video clip that subject actually comes up. It's real fitting. So here we go, guys. Another video for our tribute tonight.
When they discuss the history of horror movies, where will Wes Craven's name be?
Well, Larry, he reinvented the genre several times. He began with those gritty, nasty, hardcore films, A Last House on the Left and The Hills Have Eyes. And then he did the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, which exploited surrealism and the imagination and the dreamscape, the landscape of the nightmare. And then he reinvented again with Scream fantasies. And, had Wes not passed, I'm sure he would have probably come up with some hooks for the new reinvented Scream on television. So he literally reinvented horror 3 times in my lifetime.
What's Wes Craven's legacy?
Well, I think in terms of the business, he redefined horror many times over. People Under the Stairs, I think it's a great film. It was really, powerful to me early on, but I think he continued to redefine the genre. And, personally, and I think for those who worked with him, he brought a grace to things that, sometimes is lacking on film sets. And, he's the leader of a crew of, 150 people and sets the tone. And it's always a pleasure to show up at work for him.
And he enjoyed scaring us.
He loved scaring us.
Rest in peace, Wes. Man, wow. It's something to hear from those that worked with him, like that he actors and just, man, that was the clip, man, that I put that together last night, and it was because in editing that I am going over it multiple times to time it up right in the way I want it to be and with the right music. And man, that's I was like, it kind of, sometimes things like we know he's been gone for 7 years, but it's still kind of like, dang, he's really gone. Like, I mean, he's, I keep like,
fresh.
Yeah, it's like refreshing it is what it is, and bringing it back home. And it's the thought that, and like when Robert said, if he was still here, I think he'd get us hooked in this new Scream television show. And when I heard him say the new Scream, like before he said TV, I'm thinking of Scream 5 and these. Can you imagine if, guys? Could you imagine if we had Wes Craven doing the new Scream with Spyglass and Paramount? Could you friggin' imagine? 11 years later, the master is back. It's Scream 5.
I have to say, I've seen many movies in theaters, but to have seen Scream 4 in theaters when I was like 12 years old is such an honor for me. Like, I feel so grateful that I got to be on this earth to witness one of his films in the theater, like one of the first or second days of release. And, I've watched so many movies. I've seen so many like things that feel so similar to what he's done. People like to carbon copy everything nowadays, and just to be there and to have had that experience, like, I'll always cherish that. And even when I went to go see 5 in theaters this past January, I compared the experience to seeing the new one to the 4th one. Because that was that was probably the most fun I've ever had during a movie, was seeing that 4th one. So I'll always hold it near and dear to my heart, and I'm just so grateful for it. So,
absolutely, man. Those are special times and moments, and I've got a picture, and I meant to upload it, and I may try to find it while we're still talking tonight, because it had to be one of the very last pictures of him on Scream 4, because he's actually in the editing studio, and he's sitting there, and it's just, man, I don't know, it's just one of those pictures where you look at it, you realize it was like one of the last things. This is like that he ever did, and this was the last film that he directed, because My Soul to Take came out in 2010, and that was the last movie he wrote and directed, combo. But the last movie he directed was Scream 4. So I'll try to find that picture here in a little bit as we're talking and show you guys if I'm able to find it. But hopefully I can. But man, that was moving. It still moves me even now, watching that clip, and I've seen it a few times before.
Me too, man.
Ooh,
I had to grab a tissue.
I know. And I completely understand.
It's been hard.
Yeah, and but you know what? We're as sad as it is that he's gone, man. I'm also so thankful that we had him here, that God blessed us with this man on this earth, that with his talent and his visions, that he could, because he would talk about how he wrote most of his scripts and when he slept. Like he would
Mm-hmm.
wake up, and he said he kept a notepad and paper by his bed, and that he would have nightmares. He would dream these movies. He would dream them, and he'd wake up and he'd write them all down real quick because he would forget them. And he constructed many films from dream sequences that he had and brought them to life. And it's amazing. All right, guys, let's see. Now we're gonna bring it. We're gonna bring the atmosphere back up. It's always so hard. Like
It is, man.
even the first two clips, it's like there's just a heaviness. It's like, dang, but oh, okay.
It's hard because one part of you wants to be like delighted the fact that we're talking about Wes, but then there's another side where it still hurts because nobody wanted to see him go just yet, because we felt like, at least I feel like, there could have been so much more that he would have made for us.
Oh, absolutely. He would have been 83 years old today. Is how old he would have been. And Maverick saying, "I'm not gonna lie, I wear my heart on my sleeve. This tribute is so beautiful. Man, Craven, you've kept my eyes so dang sweaty all night." Man,
Right?
listen, me too, bro. And I think we're with you, man. It just because he's the kind of guy where you just have to love him. There's nothing you to dislike about Wes. I've yet to find anyone anywhere on any article anywhere that's ever said anything but nice things about him. Anywhere.
Yep.
I mean, and I'm talking about Rose McGowan too. I mean,
Right.
I'm saying people that are not afraid to, like, you know what I'm saying, shoot it straight.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Knight, you were talking about people on the stairs. So, Carrie, let's talk about another movie that has meant a lot to you.
Well, I'm circling back to a certain movie that we have already talked about, but I mean,
Let's
this
do it.
movie definitely deserves to be revisited, and that would be Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, yeah.
I just remember as a kid, I tried to watch horror movies with my cousins, thinking, oh yeah, I have to be cool. I have to, stay up and be with the older kids and watch these horror movies. And at first I was so scared. I would have nightmares. My poor mom would have to be up with me until I fell asleep. And I kept this poor woman. I punished her. I tortured her because I would continuously watch these horror movies knowing that I couldn't handle it. But I still did it anyway. But I was afraid of Freddy Krueger. And I feel like everybody as a kid was afraid of Freddy Krueger. I mean, come on, it's Freddy Krueger.
Exactly.
But the one scene that definitely stands out to me is when Nancy is in the classroom and she doesn't know that she's asleep. And she can see her friend Tina in a body bag. And she's literally being drugged down the hallway. And like that scene just always stuck with me. It was such a good scene because I feel like it was super effective.
Yes, it was. And it was so well done how he would drag, how they had, had her body dragging. Of course, you don't see anyone dragging her. And it was so, for 1984, and it was like really done well.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great effect. However they did it. And man.
And that's how Freddy lured her into his lair.
That's right. And she got the burn mark on her hand, right? Wasn't that in classroom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was in order to wake her up.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, she made herself wake up by burning her hand, her arm.
Yeah.
Dang.
Such a creative movie. So dang creative.
Oh, and Freddy Krueger, the name was actually, I don't know if you guys knew this, but it was actually named after a bully in high school.
That's right.
That Wes Craven.
Yep. I remember he was talking about it too, and he's like, "I've always hated that name, Freddy." Wes had such a great sense of humor too, man. That's one thing that isn't talked about enough in horror circles. But he really had a good sense of humor, and Yeah, he loved to scare people, but in a good way, right? You know what I'm saying? Like he
Like
just
in good
Yes.
fun, like
yes,
poking fun kind of way. Like,
yes,
I'm playful,
that's right,
It never felt like, oh, I'm gonna really, scare the crap out of you. I don't feel like
right.
it was ever like that.
Yeah,
I
it
feel
was
like it
never
was always
malicious.
playful. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's like all that footage behind the scenes in Scream movies where, like Scream 3, when Nev was going out to give Angelina her stuff,
Hmm.
her comb or whatever it was, and
Her
then she opens that
hairbrush.
door. Yeah, hairbrush. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's your hairbrush, and she walks out. She opens the bathroom door, and Wes goes like that, like just like when he was like
Yeah.
laughing like a kid, just laughing,
Yeah, he
and
was like a kid. Yeah.
yeah,
It's such
so
a
cool.
beautiful thing, man. You know,
Hmm.
just to
It
have that,
is.
to still have that in your heart, like so many people lose that as they live life and get
Hmm.
older or even get successful, you know.
Yep.
But Wes kept that, and
Hmm.
it's just
I
amazing,
mean,
man.
think about where he came from, though, because he had
Hmm.
a very religious family, and he probably didn't feel like he could be an actual kid because he was probably under a microscope at all times. But when he
Hmm.
went to college, I think that's when he felt like he could finally open up and, really
Hmm.
do something and be something. And
Yes.
then when he first watched To Kill a Mockingbird, I think his passion just ran wild.
Hmm.
Yep. That's right. Wow. Speaking of running wild, Anthony coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Anthony. Says, fun fact, Shocker was released in theaters the day after I was born on October
Nice.
27th of 89. That's cool. All right, better sequel in your opinion and why? Scream 2 or Dream Warriors? Okay, I'm going to go in reverse order to be different. I'm going to start with Jack, and we're going to go then to Jen and come up to Carrie and Knight. Jack, what do you think about it, man? Which is the better sequel in your opinion and why?
I think Scream 2 only in terms of consistency, because we had the same director, same writer. It just felt like a true continuation. I love Dream Warriors, but there was always something about that movie that just, and any of the Nightmare sequels, to be real, that just didn't, it didn't have that same real punch that the first one did. And although for me Scream 2, same with, with Scream, didn't have that same punch as the first one, it came very close to it.
Yes,
So
agreed.
I'd say for me that's probably the one that wins in my opinion. So
Yeah, no, that's fair. Jen, how about you? What do you think between those two
Well,
sequels?
like I said earlier, definitely Dream Warriors. That was
Okay.
the first of his I've ever seen, and I was hooked
Yeah,
from that moment on.
I love it, man. And isn't it cool how whenever a lot of it has to do with those kind of moments too. Like I know,
Hmm.
like Bob, from Bob Hunt, his favorite Halloween movie is Halloween 4 because that
Right.
was the first time he ever saw a Halloween movie,
Hmm.
and it's still his
Oh,
favorite. And so it's interesting.
nostalgic pool.
Yeah, very
yeah.
much. And I've noticed a lot of people like that do rankings that are maybe not the normal expectation, like the majority. And they'll often say, well, the reason I have Scream whatever, I mean, Scream 2, I've seen someone rank Scream 2 over Scream 1,
Hmm.
whatever. It was their first time to witness the whole thing.
Right.
So that was the standard by which it was like everything came pale in comparison. So I get that. It makes sense. That makes sense, Jen. I get that. It really
Hmm.
does. Carrie, how about you? What do you think?
Well, speaking of nostalgia, I have to say Scream 2
Mm-hmm.
because I have such a connection with Scream 2. I just remember when I was younger, me and my cousin, my much younger cousin, I have to say. She, every time I saw her, she would be like, Scream 2? I'm like, yes. So we would watch it literally I'm not even kidding, every time we saw each other, Scream 2, Scream 2, Scream 2. I watched that movie so many times, but you know what? I still have the same love for it.
Yeah.
And there's a love for it.
Oh yeah, 100%. All right, Knight, what do you think, man? Is this going to be Scream 2 or Dream Warriors for you?
Well, now let me just preface this by saying this is really a difficult question because both movies are very good, both movies are very strong, but for different reasons. And if I take Anthony at what he's asking specifically, what's the better sequel? I'll have to say Scream 2, but only because, and I think Jack, I think you said it too, because it really did feel like a continuation from Scream, and it did. Yeah, it was the consistency, and the biggest thing is the characters, and that was just, the OG3, it was almost like they were kind of getting closer to their prime, you know what I'm saying? Like just the chemistry and everything. And I think that's, as far as a sequel, Scream 2 just checked all the boxes, whereas Dream Warriors is thought of as one of the best sequels in the Nightmare franchise and a shining example of how to do a great horror sequel. But because it wasn't, Wes right there, more in the background with, some of the ideas and so forth, it was a lot different than Nightmare 2. And it was a lot different than the original Nightmare, Now, there were great things it did. And of course, it catapulted, Freddy, into the stratosphere as far as,
It's true.
popularity and success. But it was, a little bit of a left turn from what Wes had started in the original. I absolutely love it. But if we're just saying what's the better sequel, the way I'm looking at it is consistency and the connection to the original. So it's got to be Scream 2 for me.
Yeah. And I will close out the question with also voting for Scream 2. I just think that, and I love Dream Warriors as well. And I've told you guys, the only sequels I like are Dream Warriors and New Nightmare. That's it. I like the original Nightmare, Dream Warriors, and New. That's the three I watch. I don't really watch any of the others. Yeah.
You don't like Dream Master?
I mean, it's not that. I mean, I can rewatch them, but they're lower. I rank those three my highest. Everything else come after that. That probably would be. That would come in pretty. It's 2 is not. 2 is like. No, I don't. I just no. I'm sorry, I can't do
It's
2.
an acquired taste.
It is.
Yeah, maybe.
Should I go dance around my bedroom with a hairbrush?
You don't want to clean your room like that? I mean, come on.
I do clean my room like that.
Jack.
Don't tempt me.
Jack, you need to do a skit like that, seriously.
Put on the glasses and everything. Do your little.
Bump.
Yeah, the dancing,
a little hip shake.
Yeah,
man, the dancing, exploding birds. I just can't do it, man. But no, that's not bad either. But for this question though, Scream 2 it's literally so, and I know you guys have said connected. And that's kind of the cohesiveness, connectedness. I feel it too, and. I mean, my buddy Carbonite Jedi, who is not a horror movie fan, and I've made him watch every Scream movie with me, and because we did our Scream Fest, you guys, last August night, you and Carrie and Jen. I know the three of you remember. That's where we met. Well, I met night before that, but I met Carrie and Jen was on Scream Fest last August. Crazy. Anyway, I made him watch them all. Yeah, it was last August is when we did it.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How time flies.
And that's kind of what generated me and the idea to start a new channel of my own to just talk about horror because Mike doesn't like it. And I was like dragging him into it. Love you, buddy. But he was a good sport. I would say back then, like, he's a good sport, but this is not his thing.
Right.
And so that's why I started craving something scary in September, right after Scream Fest. And yeah, it's pretty crazy how time it's been a year. So it all started back then. But even I brought that up because he even says to this day how he's like those first 3 Scream movies feels like you could just throw them all together and make it one long movie.
Yeah.
All one long movie. And he's right. I think he's right. And
As a trilogy should feel.
Yes.
exactly. Yes. Yes.
Yep.
So good question, Anthony. As always, my friend. Appreciate your super chat. And now that we've gotten a couple of hours in, we could play a few. If we could play some super chat clips. It's getting later in the night. We're hitting the midnight hour. We're not going to go all night long, guys. Don't worry. But, Jen just sounded like she may be going less there as long as the rest of us.
Just a little tired.
Understood. Well, you know what? Let's help get things up here. Anthony, it's time for Stu to show up. Stu, what are you doing?
Yeah! I'm ready, baby!
Get it up!
He's ready. Let's get it up now. Come on. Get it up.
Get it up! Get it up!
Come on, Carrie. Get those arms going. Come on, Jack.
Yeah, Carrie.
Guys, slacking over there. Here you go, Jen.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was
fun.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. Spark a little spark plug into things. We do love Wes Craven. Yes. And speaking of spark plugging again, look at here. Maverick Media with a $2 super chat. Let's have a toast in honors of Wes. Hey, you know what? If you got something to drink, guys, let's get it up. Speaking of get it up. All right, we're going to pull a Chad Marks meeting here. To Wes.
To Wes. Beautiful SOB.
Yes. Thank you,
Chad
Mav.
Mark-
That was
Chad Marks Beaton.
Is that what? Did I say it
That's
wrong?
what you said. Chad Marks Beaton.
Is Chad Mark? What is it? Chad Mark? I don't know.
Chad Meeks Martin.
Chad Meeks
Chad
Martin.
Meeks
Whatever. Whatever. Dead Man Walking. That's what his real name is.
Dead man walking.
He's Dead Man and Walking. That's what I'm going to rename him. Thank you, Mav, for the super chat, my buddy.
I mean, he should have been.
Right?
He should have been.
Hey, and if he could survive that, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. I'm with you. I mean, I got so many pictures. It takes me 1,000 days to scroll up to my Stu stuff. I'm just saying.
Just
There we go.
saying.
I know.
Just saying the possibilities.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys. We got ourselves another super chat coming in from the one and only Anthony. What's up, Anthony? Okay. We're going to have another question here to ponder. Which Carpenter film do you wish Wes could have done?
Oh, Anthony. That's too bad.
That's
too bad.
Oh, man.
You gotta have the grumble. That's too bad.
That's too bad.
That's too bad.
He can't even look at it.
Oh, Lord.
Wow.
I would say
apples to oranges.
I would say I would be very curious in seeing what Wes would have done with The Thing. But that movie is just so high on a pedestal for me that like I just can't see it being done any other way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I had to choose, I'd choose The Thing, just out of curiosity.
If I had to choose, and obviously I love so many of Carpenter's movies, virtually all of them, it is apples to oranges, but if I was to pick something that I think, you know, would be a good bridge between these two horror masters, I would pick either something like Prince of Darkness or Christine.
Oh,
Because
Christine.
Because I think Wes could have
I think Wes could handle Christine.
Yeah, I think he would have
Oh,
brought some really
man.
interesting things to Prince of Darkness or Christine. Probably Christine would be the number one choice, I would say. You know, and I think it would have been very interesting and good, you know, if Wes was to have directed that instead of John.
That was my favorite Stephen King book was Christine. So absolutely, my dude. Craven doing Christine. Oh, heck yeah.
That was the first thing I thought of. I was like, you stole it, darn it, because I was thinking the same thing, man. I said Christine popped in my head because I could picture him. You know, I think back to like Deadly Friend and some of these other movies. I think he could. Yeah, I mean, he could do that totally.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, he could do any of them, in my opinion. But he was a master level director. But I was gonna say, and we're gonna hear from Jen too. I was gonna say, and nobody shoot me down or send me nasty messages or emails.
I know where this is going.
I was gonna say Halloween '78. I'm telling you.
There you go.
I'm just tell me Wes could not make a killer Halloween movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he could have.
I think he
Can we say that they could have collabed together, maybe?
Ooh.
I would rather see, because think about it. Wes Craven he collabed with Sean S. Cunningham.
He did.
Yes.
So I think, icon with icon.
Yep.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Jen,
plays well with others.
Yeah.
Actually, the only Carpenter movies I know are Halloween, so it would have to be Halloween.
Yeah. Ooh, we got to catch you up, Jen.
It's true. There's a lot of goodies there. Man. All right. So Anthony, that was a great question, man, as always. And let's do a little. Here's the thing. I love it when you guys do super chats because it reminds all of us that not just us here on the panel, but you guys want to be helpers in the discussion as well.
Well, I didn't know you wanted to get involved with the discussion, Mr. Helper.
And we appreciate you helping out on your super chats.
That's so good.
That's another guy who I miss.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. So I think we're going to the lower decks now, right? We're going to Jack. I believe you're up next, sir. Give us another Craven movie that comes to mind.
The Hills Have Eyes. Since I'm here in the desert of Arizona, although it took place in New Mexico, right next door to us. That movie, again, talking about another movie that was remade that it felt very Hollywood. It felt very polished, the remake, and I liked the remake. I did.
Yeah.
But that original movie again had such that grit, and the moment when all the chaos starts happening, where the dad's like lit on fire, and everything just starts going down.
Yes.
That movie picked up so quick, so fast, that just that whole scene is just so gutting to me, because they're like sitting there watching this guy burn up, and they can't do anything about it, and it's just that helpless, stranded in the middle of nowhere feeling. And it's interesting because when we were driving across country to get to Arizona, we were driving down a desert road in New Mexico like that. And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, okay, let's not have a car battery go out. Let's not have the gas go out. Let's just hope we get past here. Because I was thinking about that movie. And, we're passing by all the missile testing places and all that stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, imagine this like mutants in the hills and stuff like that, oh my gosh. So I've always had such a connection with that movie, and it's another movie that I have on VHS at home. Just such a awesome movie that just makes you feel like you're actually there. So a lot of fun. I would like to do a watch party for that soon, Steven. Let's add that to our list, because that's a fun one for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. That's that. I any day. Just let me know. Any day.
Okay.
I'm all over it.
Figure that out.
Yep. We gotta figure out Slasher. We got
I
2
know
episodes.
we do, dude. I know, man.
gosh.
That's first. That's priority, and then we get the whole list out.
Yeah, we'll get the
We
whole
have to
list.
do a recap.
Yeah, we
Right?
do. Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Hey, Jen, how about you? What's another movie that comes to mind?
One of my favorites is Wishmaster. I've
Ooh,
seen that movie over and over and over, and I think it's brilliant. I think
yes.
there are. I still believe that the Freddy in Wes Craven's New Nightmare becomes the Jinn. They're
Hmm.
just their worlds are just so much the same. And when Alex says, "I want to see who you really are," and he brings her into his world, it's terrifying. It's
Yes.
Hmm.
absolutely terrifying and beautiful at the same time.
That's right.
Mm.
Yep. And we watched that. Was it last month on our watch party, right, Jen? I think it was last month
I
on the.
think it was in May.
Was it May? Gosh, time's getting away from me.
Uh,
Yeah, we
Mm.
watched that as a members watch party here on the channel, and it was so good to see it again. I love that movie. I saw it in theaters when it came out, and the cameos in that movie. Kane Hodder's in it. Robert England's in
Robert
that movie.
England. Yep.
Hmm.
Yes,
Mhm.
so good.
When they go into his world, it reminds me of that end scene in f- uh, New Nightmare where they're
Hmm.
in the dream.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Nancy and Dylan. It's just so connected.
Yes, it really is. It really is. It does remind you of that, and those horrific things in there in the wall. You know, like the guy like they're getting his skin ripped open and just
Hmm.
oh gosh, hung up on wires.
Yeah,
Just
the special effects were whoa.
Yeah,
yeah, they
they were
were
amazing.
really good practical effects in that movie. Mm. It was a good. I love that show. I love watching. Love watching that Wishmaster. I'm with you. That's great.
Hmm.
Knight, how about you, man? Do you have any others that like just jump out at you, man? That you want to talk about tonight?
The other one I wanted to talk about, and I know obviously, Wes did such great work on the Scream franchise, but I wanted to talk about Scream 2.
Oh
And
yeah.
to me, not only was this moment or scene done so well and something that really got my heart racing, but I think it's something that has not been topped since Scream 2, and that was the chase scene, the auditorium scene
Oh
with
yeah.
Gail and obviously, Dewey, quote unquote, meeting his demise. This scene was so good,
Hmm.
and we to me anyways, just my opinion, we haven't really gotten a scene like that since, and I'm hoping and praying, that Radio Silence, being fans, of the franchise, say to themselves, hey, we got to do something like this,
Oh
something that is
please.
in the same league, shoot for it. They're probably not going to hit it, but at least shoot for it. You're in friggin' New
Yes.
York. So,
Hopefully.
um, but Courtney Cox was amazing in that scene.
Hmm.
There was just so many great things about Scream 2. We've already kind of touched upon that, but that scene
Yeah.
had my heart racing. And when she's facing Dewey and they're, divided by the glass, I mean,
Oh
just
yeah.
the way that it's done, and when Ghostface, stabs Dewey, and the look on Courtney's face, it was just
Horrifying, wasn't
Terror.
it?
it was. It really was. I
Hmm.
think personally speaking, and obviously I love the original, but I think it was moments like that in Scream 2 where it was like cemented for me to be, just that huge fan, for Gail, you know, and obviously Dewey as well, but that kind of cemented it for me. But
Shoot.
yeah.
What a great
Hmm, that
choice,
makes
man.
sense.
That movie
Mm.
for me, being a sequel, it was just like shot after shot. You're like, oh, this is a sequel. How good can it be? But it was like
Right.
after every. And I remember the first time I watched Scream 2, right after Cece gets killed,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all walking out of the party, and you just hear Red Right Hand creeping up in the background of that scene. And,
Yeah.
just like
Uh
the
huh.
direction, and you're like, Oh baby, we're back. We're back in the Scream world.
Yes, yes.
Like so good, man. And Marco, his score in that scene. Oh my goodness. You really could feel a lack in 5 without Marco's scores.
I know.
This composer's good, but in that scene in particular, I mean, he conveyed the hopelessness that Gail felt when he's sliding down and they're sliding down.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Courtney, like I said, Courtney was so. I mean, I love Courtney Cox, anyways. So I'm just throwing that out there. But in that moment, it was so emotional, man. And
Yeah.
And
We need that.
remember-
We need Gail like that back. We need her back
I
like
know.
that.
Yes, we
Dude,
really
man.
do.
Oh man,
We haven't gotten
I swear.
anything like that since then.
No.
Scream
No.
3 was I love Scream 3, but it was more of a comical approach.
Yes.
And
yes.
I want that real horrifying chase scene like that scene again, dude. Like
Yes.
we need that.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
So-
We
I
do.
mean,
You know what I think really clicked with Gail? I think it was when Randy was killed.
Yes.
Because that scene where she's talking to Dewey and she's like, I mean it. I really want to find who this person is.
Right.
And then that's when they go look at the footage. I think
yes.
that was the moment where she was more human.
Mhm,
Because
mhm.
before that, I feel like she was just cold and she
Right.
just wanted her news and she wanted her fame.
Yeah.
She even said, I feel bad, and I never feel
Mhm.
bad.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yeah.
feel bad. I
Exactly.
really do.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
really do. Yeah. I miss. See, you guys got me thinking about it so much, but I miss that. I miss that Gail. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I really do. You know, and like you said, Jack, you know, with 3, they took a different approach, and I get it, you know, because it was a different setting, and you do want these characters to stretch, so to speak. So they allowed that to happen, and then of course 4, you know, things started to kind of, you know, sidestep the OG 3 just a little bit, you know what I mean? But it would be, and of course 5, we know about 5, but it would be so cool to have Courtney have those types of moments in 6 because she can pull them off. You know what I mean? She's great enough as an actress to pull those things off and make you feel for her, you know, just like in that scene in part 2 and in many moments in 2, actually, you know.
She had
Because
one
of that
moment
scene.
in Scream 5.
Right.
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm,
There was one
mhm.
moment. The one moment where she was in the car with Sydney and she said, I'm sorry that I wrote the book about your mother.
Mhm,
I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like the old Gail kind of poked through a little bit there, but that was about it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have that fierce. It really felt like Sydney and Gail, they kind of took away their teeth, their power. They just kind of made them more like just kind of images of themselves, former shells of who they used to be. And I want to see, like, here when we see her here in 5, 6, I want her to be like just, you know, aggressive and barking back and forth and arguing and like, you know, showing fire in
Yeah.
her again.
She's a Scream Queen too in my
She
books.
is.
She absolutely is. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
She's got her News
Agreed.
4 super big. Bring that big mic over here. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I didn't think I was gonna see a bigger microphone than that dude until I saw that picture. And Gail's got him beat. That thing's massive.
We need her to have another cameraman sidekick too. You know, like I feel like that added to her
Yes.
character in the first 2. We need her to have a little
does.
sidekick.
Oh
Give us
my
another
God.
Kenny or
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Or bring Joel back.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, how would we feel if we ended up seeing Joel back? Like, man,
I'd love it.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
I love
yeah.
it.
I
We
love
would
it.
That
do
Man.
mic-
that.
That microphone looks like a shake weight.
I'm telling you, that thing there, you could kill somebody with that. You don't
Oh
even
my
need a knife.
gosh.
Ghostface gets that,
Oh,
you're
man.
dead.
Shake weight.
Right.
I just want her to be on fire because right there, if you can see, look at the right hand side. You see that? That is Sam. That is Sam's hair. It's Melissa Barrera's black hair. That's Melissa Barrera's leather jacket on her left. It's her left sleeve. So she's obviously trying to interview Tara and Sam right here. And this is also that sequence, I believe, where you see them. I don't have the. I have the pictures, but I don't have them loaded up. Where they're walking away from her to get into a cab.
Yes.
So it's almost like we're done with you, and you can just tell the body language because Gail is like coming after them aggressively. The way she's walking, you can just see it. And then Melissa's in between her and Tara, and they're trying to get into a cab. And so I hope that means that the old Gail is like back, not just like, you know what I mean? Fiery personality.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Where in New York City do they have grass that's tall like that?
Well, you know,
Central Park, maybe Central Park. I don't know.
Sure.
Outside the college, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. We're gonna go with the garden outside the college. I like that.
Okay.
Let's go with that. That works. We're gonna have to suspend disbelief a little bit, guys. It's Montreal,
Right?
It's not New York City. We're gonna have to
take it from a New Yorker. There is grass like that in New York City. When you get to the outskirts of the city, by the neighborhoods and stuff, yeah, there is like that. So there's no suspension of disbelief. I could be your accredited experiencer. That it is like that. So
during Halloween.
During Halloween, always that is during Halloween.
That is a problem.
The past few years, it's been like 80 degrees in New York during October.
I love it.
So
Jack's helping us believe.
Hey.
He's helping us believe.
I
Am I
still
selling
believe.
I still believe.
Yeah. Am I selling it?
You are. You're doing a great job. And I have to tell you, I haven't done a video on it yet, but I've got these pictures from the campus that were on the bulletin board there. And if you zoom in, you can see that on there is a missing cat poster.
Freddy Krueger.
And it says October, I think it's October the 10th. Been missing since October the 10th. So that confirms we are in October, Halloween. It's a done deal.
And the cat is Freddy.
And the cat is Freddy. That's right. His name's Freddy.
And the owner is
I forgot to go back and look.
wait a minute. Nancy. Nancy is the owner.
Oh, no way. Nancy's looking for Freddy.
There you go. Good call. Good call.
I hate to see the claws on that cat.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Speaking of claws, man, look at Jason clawing it tonight with another super chat. Man, Jason, thank you, brother. You really, man, just so generous of you. The first monster that an audience has to be scared of is the filmmaker. Wes Craven quote. Will never be another. Love you all. Oh, we love you too, Jason. Thank you so much, man.
Yes.
What a great quote. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense too. They're writing, the story, who's writing the story and bringing it to life. Wow. And and we don't realize, on these scripts, thanks again, Jason, really appreciate you, man. They're, I remember stories where in the back, behind the stuff and commentaries, where Wes talks about how, Kevin's script would just say, Wes makes it scary.
Right.
And that's all it says on paper. There's nothing else. So it's all Wes's imagination he puts into these scenes. And one of them was something like, I don't know, dark silhouette in the room or something. And and he's like, well, here's how I envision that. And so even though Wes didn't write a lot of these Scream films directly, he had a huge influence on what we actually saw.
The taxi scene is a great example of that. When they try to climb over Ghostface in 2. Oh my goodness!
One of my favorite scenes.
Oh, you want to rip your skin off? It's so intense.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that and the Gale scene in the same movie. Those are both in the same movie.
For a sequel too, what?
Yep.
Crazy.
It was.
And it was, it was doing something different. It was giving you a different angle from part one, from the original, and like Robert said in the interview in your clip, Stephen, Wes was able to do that. He was able to evolve and to reinvent and find a new hook. It's just great stuff.
Absolutely.
Bye, Donna.
Good night, Donna, if you're still
Good
here.
night,
Good
Donna.
night. And Jamie just checked in saying hello. Hey, Jamie, welcome.
Jamie.
I know a lot of people are coming in new. I'm going to play that first clip that I started with because that was a long time ago, and there's a bunch of people here that have not seen it. So, guys, here's one of our. I'm going to recycle the clips all before we start to wrap up here in a minute. So here's a clip for you guys honoring Wes tonight, and let's hear from the man himself. Here we go.
What I think is you're dealing with fear. Basically, you're dealing with fear, and you have to get through to those fears. And in that way, you have to know what people are really afraid of these days, as opposed to even 10 years ago. And then you have to cross the line so that you can elucidate those fears in a way, put them into a film in a way that goes beyond necessarily good taste or what is proper in the society to speak about, or what the MPAA feels comfortable allowing you to do. You have to go into those sort of forbidden areas. And so you're probably off the box going to be making a film that's upsetting to adults and to the establishment. So people often ask me, why do people want to go and be scared? And my answer is that people don't want to go and be scared. They are scared. That we have resident fears, from real things. I mean, let's not forget real life, So the reason I think this works for kids is that those fears are evoked in these movies and brought out in the course of the story in a way that it has some resolution at the end.
Wow, still so. There's something just about hearing from him, hearing his own voice speaking. It's powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true.
All right, man. Well, guys, we're gonna start to ease our way into closing up tonight. But you know what? This is how incredible things go. We're getting towards the end of the night. We've been going for almost 3 hours. It's incredible. And at the very end here, we get a brand new channel member. Look at here, guys. Coming in the fourth quarter, Nanette, welcome to the channel. Yay.
Nice.
That's so nice of you to join and become a supporter, Nanette. That's incredible. All right, Nanette, here we go. I love this. Since you did it on a live stream, it thrills my heart. I get excited about it because I get to do this greeting that I love to do, and it's for only people who join. I get to do it. So sometimes it's a while before I do it again. So tonight, this is the second time tonight, which is just a real blessing. So Nanette, I'm so happy to say that you, my friend, now are no longer only a watcher or a subscriber. No. You are now stepping in to the inner circle of the cult of Craven. That's right. You are now a channel member, which means you are officially a Cravenite. That is your new title, and you're inside the family now, and you're coming on in here, and we're going to give you a big hug. So all of my Cravenites out there in the chat and on the panel, let's give her a virtual hug. Welcome to the cult of Craven. We're glad to have you here in the inner circle. Nanette, that is amazing. You can now attend our watch parties, any live streams I do for members only, and again, I plan on adding more perks as the months go on. I'm working on it, but thank you so much for your support and for being here. What a nice surprise to see here popping up. That is amazing. Thanks, Nanette. All right, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's talk real quick about. You know what? Hey, hang on a second. Nanette, this was for you, man. You know what? Hold on a second. I gotta do something here. All right, we gotta get it up one more time. Let's get it up. For Nanette, this is for you. Welcome to the cult of Craven.
Yeah! I'm ready, baby!
All right. Get those arms limbered up, Jack and Carrie.
Come on, Carrie.
Come on, Carrie.
Come on, Carrie.
Get up!
Carrie.
Get up!
Get it up!
Get up! It was fun.
Thank you, buddy.
It was
Whoa, man.
fun.
It was
Yeah,
fun.
man.
That's right.
Oh
Oh,
man, he's the best.
he is the best.
So
Come
many great
on.
lines, man. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you cannot
You
beat it.
can't see anyone else playing that part. You
No,
just cannot.
No,
no,
No.
no.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Nanette says I kept saying I would, and so I'm doing it now. Thank you, Nanette.
It's
That's awesome. All right, so let's see. Yeah, Aiden makes a good point. Stu's the scariest ghost face because he was doing it for fun.
Good
Think
point.
about that. He
Yeah.
was. He did it because he loved to kill. And you could say Mickey did too, right?
Yeah.
Mickey and Stu were both doing it for fun
Mm.
without
Good
real
point.
concrete motives. All right. All right, where are we at here? I completely lost track. So who else has a movie? I'll open it up to the floor.
I
Well,
do.
what about the one movie that the non-horror movie that he did?
That was my number 4.
There you go, Jen.
What?
Share with us.
Do
My
share
number
because it deserves to be talked about. It's Meryl Streep.
It was something that nobody ever expected Wes Craven to do, and it was done beautifully, and that's
Mhm.
Music of the Night. That
Yep.
Music
I
of the
I
Heart.
can't really pick out any specific scene, but just the tenderness and the love that went into that movie was just so heartwarming.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and Meryl Streep was
And
amazing.
it was based on a true story.
Yeah. Meryl Streep always wins in my
Oh,
book.
absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Always.
yes, she is a
Absolutely.
queen.
She
She
is
is.
absolutely a queen.
Even my
Yes.
dog agrees.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
That's
box
right.
agree too, I see.
Yep. I mean, she's an iconic, legendary actress,
Mm.
and that movie was really, really good. It was really,
Very
really
good.
good. It was,
Hmm.
you know, Wes
beautiful.
proved he could do it.
Yep.
I was working as a nanny back then for a 4th grader, and she played violin. So she wanted to see that movie in the worst way. And when I heard Wes Craven directed it, I was like, she's kind of young for a Wes Craven movie. But no,
That's funny. It's natural to think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Brett's a big fan of that movie as well. It is.
Hmm.
It's really, really good. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great point, Aiden. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
Yes.
That's so true.
Yes. Hmm.
My mom loved Starman. I remember when I was
Oh
a
yes.
kid, she would watch that over and over on VHS, and I'd watch it with her.
Hmm.
It was a good movie.
Yes.
It was.
Yes. It just goes to show that, and we know this. I mean, we've seen it even with actors that,
Hmm.
sometimes they get pigeonholed into certain,
Yep.
um, roles or types of movies, and then they do something that's totally different, and people are like, "Oh my God, you can do that!" And it's like, yeah, these folks are talented, and
Exactly,
it's,
man.
Mhm.
that don't pigeonhole them. Don't
No.
don't make the ceiling too low on what they can accomplish. And obviously, Wes and John, are able to do things. They were able to do things outside of horror, or straight horror, I should say.
Man, and Wes, he fought tooth and nail to get that done. In fact,
Yeah.
he had to make that picture deal with Miramax, and one of the deals was, if I'm going to sign on and do these other movies, you got to give me one that
Hmm.
I want to do that's non-horror. And they made the deal. They did it for him. That's the only good thing the Weinsteins did just about for in his career for him
Mm.
was to let him make that movie. But people were just reluctant, man. He couldn't. No one. It was all about And he even explained it one time. He's like, well, if you're known for being really good at making a horror movie,
Hmm.
when studios come up and they have scripts to get made, and they're ready to make movies and they're horror movies, they're gonna call you. So you're making more horror movies and more horror movies. If they have a drama film to make, they're going to call the top drama guys, the top comedy guys, and they're not going to cross the streams and go over here and grab a horror director because they want to minimize risk, and that's what happened. He got locked into horror, but he also said I'm paraphrasing, but I'm thankful and grateful. He's like, that if I can make movies that scare people my whole life, I'm going to do that. I'm going to enjoy doing that. And he did enjoy doing it, and you can tell by his work. It reflects that. And
Yep, absolutely.
hey, Nanette, she became a channel member, and she put in a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Nanette. I love music of the heart. There you go. So I'm happy y'all are talking about it. See? Hey.
What Steven just said, that's exactly what I was thinking. All I wanted to do was make a classy, what Roman says in 3. It's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. I want to make a good, classy movie, and once you have a reputation and you're good at it, that's all people want to hire you to do, is what they know you're really good at. And it limits sometimes what you're able to show.
Hey, Eric.
But Eric, what's going on,
Hey.
dude? Nice to see you here. We're in our last few minutes. We're going to probably go about another 10 minutes or so, and we're going to call it a night because we're at 3 hours, and it's been fun. But all good things, right?
That's right.
All good things that must come to an end at some point. And so Nanette, I just played you the stew dance. So maybe let's see, what should we do, guys? Help me out.
Bobo.
Rick Moranis. Do a combo.
Okay, the combo. Bobo and Rick Moranis. All right. Do you want screaming thigh Bobo, or do you want tongue Bobo?
Screaming thigh.
Screaming thigh. Okay. So we'll do some screaming thigh into some Rick Moranis lounge music. Here we go.
Yes.
All right, Nanette, here's your clips.
I'm gonna make your bubba bounce right now.
When the eloquence escapes me, then logic ties me up and takes me. That's true.
Little delayed reaction there. I love that. You didn't sound half bad, Knight. That's pretty good. Oh man, I'll tell you, Val's, man, the general is all over it all the time.
Yes.
I'm gonna make your own tagline. She absolutely right, Val. Let's see where we're at, guys. Let's see where we're at. How many likes do we have? It's got to be getting up there. Let's see. We're at 93. Okay, guys, we cannot end this stream without triple digits. We can't. So, guys, if you have not smashed that thumbs up button, we only need 7 more to get triple digits, which you know what's going to happen when this thing goes into replay? That algorithm is going to say, 100 likes? Okay, I need to send this out to more people. And so new folks will have a chance to watch this tribute to Wes. So if you have not done so and you're just joining, maybe you haven't even chatted.
5 more to go.
Oh, there you go. There we go. Thank you. You guys are already responding. And you always do. You guys always respond. And I appreciate it because we got to get that 100. We got to break those triple digits. Johnny says, I seriously can't wait until March. Yeah, me too. We'll see what we're going to get. It's we're going to get something in March. Hopefully it's going to be really good. I'm staying optimistic. I am.
Right.
And by the way, guys, I haven't said this enough tonight, and that's my bad. Val has probably been sitting the links out already because I haven't been watching sometimes very closely because of everything going on. But if you have not subscribed to everyone up here on this panel, the Night Watch Zone, Jack Stannis, Carrie Griff Cinema, and Jenical doesn't have a YouTube channel, but she does. She is on Twitter, so you can follow her over on Twitter. And I believe I even have her Twitter in the description of this video. But if I don't, I will put it in there. And you can follow her there and stay in touch with all things going on. She's a faithful tweeter. Is that right? Every time I hear that word, I think of those people that are like halfway off of the drugs.
Tweaker.
Tweakers, like they're like one leg, one nostril with crack, the other's clean, like they're halfway there. Oh, I can't. Whatever that word is, there's a phrase. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know, that's a twinker or tweener. Got to watch out. What
tweaker?
Yeah, tweaker.
Tweaker. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
that's what it is. Seeing these cop shows, you know. Oh, I got my CI is a tweaker. Got to be careful.
Carrie, we got to remember that one. Tweaker.
Yeah.
Oh no, you don't have to remember that. You can forget all about it.
Oh, man. That's too bad.
That is way too bad. Oh
I
man.
think Craven is tweaking on those tentacles.
That's too bad.
Oh my gosh.
Jack. I love the way you do it, Jack.
I do too.
Great.
It's almost better than Mel.
It is.
I'll record a video. I'll record a video of me doing that up against the wall, and you can use that. That's too bad.
Or do it side by side.
Dude, like a like what's that TikTok duet where you like you're on the screen together?
Yeah.
There you go. Look at Val. She's putting the links in there. Thank you, Val. She's taking care of it. You guys got to smash their subscriptions. Go to their channels, hit subscribe. They are amazing people. Incredible people. Let's see. Unlike the term twink. Oh man. I was uninformed. I had no idea what a twink is. I honestly, let me tell you the truth. I don't know what it is still. I have no clue what a twink is. All I know is
That's just
dude,
that's just like another term that we had at the Stu Macher trial, starting with a Q.
Yeah, the Q, the whole Q thing. The whole
Steven's totally unaware of all
I'm like,
this.
what are we doing right now?
Had me rolling.
I mean, everybody's queefing on the panel. I'm like, what are we doing? And I'm like, so, man, look, I saw this twink thing. I said, I don't know what, and I noticed I was watching the chat one night, and Jack was on the panel, and someone came in.
Who's that twink in the bottom right corner?
Yeah, who's that twink in the bottom right corner? I'm like, I ain't putting up with we ain't bullying and trolling in this. I don't put up with that. So I got ahead of my moderator. I went straight to that person myself and clicked block, right? And then Jack hit me up in the private chat or at the end. I'm like, dude, I said, we had one troll in here tonight. I had to block. And Jack's like, no, it wasn't a troll. I said, what? He said, no, I was actually responding to him whenever you blocked him. I said, oh, sorry. I won't do that again. If I see Twink, I won't.
It's essentially a compliment for a skinny gay man.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. I mean, learn something new every day. Now I know. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we got it, man. I think we got it, Brett.
We got it. There you go.
We got it. We're good. Now I know what a twink is, and a queef. And a tweaker.
And a macaque.
And a macaque. Oh, damn. That was a misspeak. I just made a mistake. I was trying to say Macaulay Culkin. It just came out Macaulay McCulkin. And I said, oh, crud. First, I didn't know what happened. I was like, what are you laughing at? And then, like, what? And then Knight starts, like, doing what he's doing now. He starts crying. I'm like, what the heck is happening? And then I realized what I said. And I said, oh, shoot. I said, well, isn't that his name? That's what his name is. And they're like, no, it's McCulkin. McCulkin. I said, oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. Wow. Man.
Too bad.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
boy, I tell you what.
It's great.
Well, guys, as we wrap up here, I'm going to play these last couple of clips one more time for those that are new that haven't seen them, and then
Can
I
I
want to get
just
you. Go ahead.
say one thing?
Yeah.
This is a line from Steel Magnolias when Dolly Parton's character says, "Laughter through tears is my favorite emotion."
Oh.
Aw.
No, that's perfect.
I love it.
It is. It is. Because I mean, the
That's
best
perfect.
tears are the ones that come from you're laughing so hard and you're crying. That's
Yes.
the best. The best. It's the tears I prefer to have every day, every time.
I
But
think
they
we
don't
needed
happen.
it.
Well, yeah, it's absolutely 100%. Yes. And I don't want to end us on a downer note because we're gonna play these last two clips again, and every time we've played them, it's been real somber. But
Afterwards, yeah.
afterwards, so I don't know what
Jen, say
Yes?
it again after the 2 clips.
yeah, let's
Okay.
get through these 2 clips, and then tell me about Macaulay's brother Rory or something, and we'll that'll help us shake things up again. All right, guys, we're going to come back after these 2 clips. I'm going to play these back to back, and then we're going to come back with our closing thoughts, and we're going to say goodnight. All right, so here we go. If you haven't seen it yet, or if you have, let's watch it one more time. Here we go. For Wes, guys. For Wes.
What was it like to be directed by Wes Craven?
He's has such a psychological bent to him, and so he was always sort of probing deeper and looking for the motives behind things and asking more of you, and but at the same time it was done with such a gentleness, and he really respected his actors and admired them.
For me, Wes was he was a kind of a gentleman. He was a double threat, Larry. He was a writer and a director. So if we had trouble with a scene, he could fix the writing as well as restaging it. But he left me alone. I worked.
Really?
Yeah, I did a television series with Wes. I did 3 movies with Wes, and he left me alone, which I liked. I liked that respect.
Think about it, he makes these wild movies, right? You know, very scary. But off camera, he's a very relaxed person, well-read. We got
Whereas you're doing this grotesque scene and blood and he'd be just
very calm, very peaceful, and he feels like he's very confident in his ability. So he feels that he gets it, he got it, and he can move on. And I'll never forget this. I'm like, we're making a horror movie. Like, shouldn't it be crazier? And he's like, just because we're making a horror movie doesn't mean it has to be horrific.
When they discuss the history of horror movies, where will Wes Craven's name be?
Well, you know, Larry, he reinvented the genre several times. He began with those gritty, nasty, hardcore films, A Last House on the Left and The Hills Have Eyes. And then he did the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, which exploited surrealism and the imagination and the dreamscape, the landscape of the nightmare. And then he reinvented again with Scream fantasies. And, had Wes not passed, I'm sure he would have probably come up with some hooks for the new reinvented Scream on television. So he literally reinvented horror 3 times in my lifetime.
What's Wes Craven's legacy?
Well, I think in terms of the business, he redefined horror many times over. People Under the Stairs, I think, it's a great film. It was really, powerful to me early on, but I think he continued to redefine the genre. And, personally, and I think for those who worked with him, he brought a grace to things that, sometimes is lacking on film sets. And, he's the leader of a crew of, 150 people and sets the tone. And it's always a pleasure to show up at work for him.
And he enjoyed scaring us.
He loved scaring us.
Wow, this is been an amazing night, and again, hats off to the master. If you got water or a Coke or iced tea and whatever you got.
Lillard juice.
Hey, let's do it, guys. Let's go. Let's give another for Wes. You guys ready? I'll tell you what. Whatever it takes, Jen. We're gonna do a Scream 5 toast like Wes. Chad, I'll count us down and we'll all do it together for Wes. All right. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. For Wes.
For Wes.
Love me some Lillard juice.
Lillard juice. Oh my gosh. It's too bad I didn't have my eggs Benedict clicked for tonight. I got so busy, Carrie, that I may have to. You know what? While we're giving your final thoughts, I'm gonna upload it. So let's start with. Let's end with Carrie because it connects back to her. So Jen, let's start with you. Then we'll go to Knight and Jack. So tell us your final thoughts on Wes Craven for this stream, anyway.
Oh boy, I wish he was still with us. That's all I can say.
Yep. Fair enough. Knight?
I second that, of course. And, I just think he was a very special person, a very special director, and also at a very special time for the genre. And he really helped to propel it so far. It's like we talk about this a lot with different things. Lightning in a bottle, and he was a big part of that equation. And we're still feeling the effects of his mastery, his works, and even watching in those clips, hearing Skeet and Jamie and Robert talk about him, it was almost as though they were still that part of Wes, with them, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, I love Wes Craven, man. I mean, he was a big part, a huge part of my movie fandom as a kid into my adult years. And like I said, this has been really good to celebrate and reflect and talk and have fun and reminisce about these things. And sad as well, but he's an icon. So
yeah,
for Wes.
For Wes, that's right. Love that. Jack, how about you, man?
Well, I think if filmmakers going forward are as smart as they used to be, they would, especially horror directors, they will look at this man's work as a beautiful example to don't be afraid to cross the boundaries and to explore and to really hone in your ability as a director, but also to create films as abstract or as crazy as they are for people to connect with and to understand and for people to relate with. We spoke earlier about character.
Dewey.
Silly Dewey.
He had to come in for a cameo.
Yeah.
What's that? I was 24 for a whole year. But I think it's important that filmmakers going forward need to understand the human experience, especially in horror, so that when you watch horror movies, you relate to the characters. And
yes.
Wes did such a great. He's such a great example of that. And for me, anything I do in life, in the film industry or the documentary industry, or anytime I pick up a camera and I want to shoot something, he'll always be a little part of my inspiration. So may he rest in peace.
Yes.
Yes.
Carrie, how about you? What are your final thoughts?
Um, I don't know what else you can really. He's definitely an inspiration, and I feel like any new upcoming directors or even ones from the past, I feel like they're all gonna always look back to him because he made an impact that not a lot of other directors really have made. I mean, they've made impacts in their own way, but I just feel like he definitely made a staple for which others to look upon. And he's definitely an inspiration.
That's right. And Maverick says, I often think about what horror movies would be like had Wes never graced us with his presence. How different would the landscape be? He was an innovator, and we are all lucky to witness his greatness.
Yes, that's absolutely perfect.
Very well said. Aiden says, thank you for the stream. Absolutely. And Brett, yep, you nailed it, Mav. That's a very, very, very fitting way to end this. And, you know, I'll just say that, well, thank you, Anthony. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for all your super chats and your great questions tonight, man. Always a pleasure having you. And, you know, guys, you know, there's, and I'm going to end with just this, and then we'll say our goodbyes, and then I'm going to play a really crazy clip that Carrie created for me. And it's kind of to end it on a light note, kind of get us all in a lighter note right before we go to bed, or whatever we're going to do. And so I'm going to just kind of, you guys that are still here, that are hanging in with us all this time, I'm going to tell you my thoughts, and then we'll all say goodbye to you. I'll meet everyone backstage in a minute, and then we'll all play my little clip from Carrie, and then my typical ending, my closeout. And then we'll call it a night and call it a stream. And where are we at? Have we hit 100 yet? Are we close? 97.
I think we were 97.
97. Okay. So if you're here now, just coming in, we're only 3 likes away from 100. If you can smash it, we'd appreciate it. All right. So, excuse me. Wow. Wes Craven, man, I can't really tell you in words what he's meant in my life and in different periods of my life. And I've known his movies since I was a kid. But the real impact on my life happened to me when I was already an adult. It was when I was older. And I liked the movies and I watched them, but I actually wasn't a huge horror fan when I was young. I would watch the horror movies. They'd usually freak me out, you know, and, you know, I got a long history about like stuff in my life that already made me kind of freak out and stuff and be leery of things. But anyway, bottom line is it wasn't really until this period of my life in the 90s when Scream came out. It all was kind of like this perfect storm personally at the time. And I'll just say it this way. When I saw that movie, it was not only did I appreciate, you know, the film and how incredible the movie was, and Wes, of course, but you know, and it was just a masterpiece film. But it was a time in my life where that movie, it gave me, it filled something in my life that I needed, and it became much more than a movie to me. It became something that, you know, if I heard, and this is back, you know, a little bit of maturity too, but when if I hear someone say, you know, something bad about the movie, I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not right. Because you ever think about this? I almost became like an apologist, you know, like defending this film because it was so, it felt so personal to me. And even though I didn't write it, I didn't make it, but it felt like it felt like it was more than just me watching a movie. You know what I mean? Connected to it. And anyway, that continued on throughout for a long time, and he was immediately my favorite filmmaker and has been ever since. And I think he always will be, honestly. So he inspired me to make this channel. I mean, you never have to go too far to figure out how I feel about the guy, because every stream, his name's above my head and below my head. And, you know, that's how much he's meant to me, that I wanted his name to be in this thing that I'm doing. So I want to just thank Wes, and I know you can hear me out there, and I just want to thank him for not listening to the critics when they would come along and ridicule a movie and say it was an inferior movie. You know, he refused to listen to them, and he persevered and he moved on. And he just continued to push and push and grind and make his movies and the way he wanted to make them. And even Scream 3, when he's told you can't, he found a way to make it the way he wanted to. And, you know, I respect that so much. And it just reminds me of how when you're a content creator, and it's not, I don't, not everyone watching is right now, and even on replay, but if you do anything creative, if you paint, if you write, if you do any type of carpentry work where you build, I'm talking about any creative thing where it takes creative work and ideas, and you put it out there for public consumption, you make yourself a target just by the fact that you're there. But the fact that you do that and you don't listen to those who say you shouldn't do that, you're not talented enough to do that. You're not ready to do that. You know, who do you think you are? Who's going to care what you say? Well, those people that are out there and those voices in your life that say those things, Wes is the example of how we need to not listen to them. We need to continue to go forward, because just as many people that may reject you, the same amount will come and love what you're doing. They'll connect with what you're doing. Just like all of us connected with Wes's movies and his career, it's the same for all of you who do anything creative. So I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to go any extra long. It's really late. But I just want to say he is an inspiration to not only do, but to keep doing. And those can be two different things, because a lot of people do. They start and then they don't finish. They give up. They quit too early. But see, Wes didn't do that. And that's the inspiration I draw from him. And when I see a troll and I see somebody jump in trying to undercut my feelings about my content and what I'm working hard to bring, I remember Wes, and I think about that, and I remember what Dave McRae says, how when people come at him, how he used to struggle with it, and he said his father told him, and I think you've heard it before, but his father told him something once, and he's never forgotten it, and he said it doesn't matter what they're saying, it matters that they're watching. And I've never forgotten that. And so I'm like, anytime there's a negative thing from an individual, I'm like, thank you for giving me a view. Thank you for leaving a comment, which helps my engagement score and the algorithm. You're helping me. So thank you for that. You're promoting the channel and don't even know it. So it doesn't. Anyway, guys, just remember those things. And real quick, Brett James Bishop came in with a $20 super chat. Brett, my goodness, man. Thank you so much. Says Craven, Scary. I'll speak for everyone on the panel and in the stream to say thank you for your love for Wes. If it wasn't for you, your channel, there wouldn't be this family. I'd even dare say Wes would be proud. Oh, man. Brett, thank you, man. Dude, that's so nice. Wow. I really, really appreciate that, man. That kind of tugs at my heartstrings there, buddy. Thank you, man. Thank you. And thank you for being an amazing part of this community and so supportive, man, of me and our messages and we chat and stuff. It's just dude, you're just an incredible guy, and I really appreciate you so much. Wow. Thank you, man, for your generosity. And that, my friend, is a super chat worthy of an Eggs Benedict. That, if ever there was one, and you guys are like, what are y'all talking about? I know, you hadn't seen it yet. Well, I don't think you've seen it yet. I've never played it. Guys, we're gonna call it a night. This was a fantastic stream. Thank you to everyone on the panel, everyone here in the chat. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to everyone here. Their channels, their content is amazing, and thank you, Nanette. That's right. If you haven't hit that smash it. We'd appreciate it. But we're gonna be back soon. I don't know. I doubt I'm gonna be streaming in the morning, frankly, because I normally do my Wednesday morning, but I did it Tuesday night, so I'm all kind of thrown off a little bit. So I will be streaming probably on Thursday at some point. I might do like a Thursday evening stream. And then just so you guys all know, I will not be streaming on Friday or Saturday because my Carbonite Jedi, my BFF, is coming in from Denver to spend 3 days with me. Yep.
Yeah, nice.
He's coming in. His plane gets in at midnight Thursday, and he's going to be here all day Friday, all day Saturday, leaving Sunday evening, late afternoon. So I'm not going to be on my channel for 2 days straight. I'm going to try to get some videos recorded tomorrow and during the day Thursday that I can post Friday and Saturday, so you guys will still have something from me. But there'll be no more streams after my probably Thursday evening stream. So anyway, stay tuned for all that. But you guys have been amazing. I'm going to show you this clip here, and then we'll sign off. And I'll see you guys backstage. But for everybody else in the chat, thanks again. Good night, guys. We'll see you.
Good night.
Hello. My name is Eggs Benedict. I'll fucking eat you in a minute. Watch out for them dinner meadows. They're ruthless.